And it's live. Hello, everybody. I'm here with my G paper, and I want to tell you guys all a story to start off this stream. It's a really good one. So I was in the med school building the other day. Saw a friend of mine from uni, and she told me a very funny joke, and I actually laughed at it. But the problem is because the joke was so funny, I was laughing. And then I banged my knee on the glass door. It didn't break, which I'm very thankful for. I just didn't actually break, so I banged my knee. And you know what? I actually remember exactly what I said. Do you want to know what I said as this happened through this whole thing?
What did you say?
Ow!
Right, thanks for coming to the stream, everyone. It's over. See you later. Bye bye.
Bro, I thought you'd laugh at the punchline and not laugh at the rest of it, but it was the other way around.
The setup was really quite funny.
Oh, bro, can't believe that. That's the only time that anyone's laughed at the setup for my joke, so I'll take that. But the reaction afterwards would be very sad.
Oh dear. That's the intro that we're going with. We can't take that back now.
No,
So,
it is. As I said, it is live. It is in fact
and
live.
it's live. I thought you were gonna.
Live.
When you said that, I thought we were going with okay. It's a Martin Tyler FIFA 18 intro. Let's do this. But no, no, it was not.
Well, let me think how I could introduce. How would I do that?
I don't know. That's why I was slightly curious to see where you would have taken it.
And we're here from Park, where today we've got Princess Peach facing off against a 30-year bout of Stockholm Syndrome. For some reason, there's a noose in the middle of the stadium. I don't know if the advertisers are going to let us get away with that one, but it's live. So, have you got anything to add, Alan? Well, yeah, I've caused a few cases of Stockholm Syndrome back in my day, Jeff.
What?
knocked a few headers in, and the goalkeepers have just came up and hugged me because they were like, "Wow, Joe, what? You're so good at headers, Mr. Alan Smith. You're actually really good at scoring headers." And I said, "Yeah, Joe, I agree with you. You've got a really good point. I am fantastic at scoring headers. I'm really good at that. I did it. I scored a few back in my day.
Alan Smith, the heading
and then
god.
for Arsenal. You know, I might have
The
had...
heading god.
Yeah. I can't play football, I can't kick a ball, but I can jump and I can swivel my head. That's all that matters. That's
I'm
all
glad
that
to hear it.
matters.
And you know what? You've managed to keep the intro up through the entire opening sequence. So you know what? Round of applause for Majima. That was. The man's a better streamer than I am, quite frankly. But here we are.
I don't know. I'm good at chatting shit without being prompted. That's literally what I'm good at. I just chatted a bunch of shit for like a number of minutes. That's
Indeed.
it.
I will continue without saving. Yes. What am I naming my save file since I can't actually save it?
Great question.
Good. Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff. He's a tough cookie, but I think even though he's not been saved, I think he'll manage to carry on. Cheers,
Even though
Jeff.
he's dead, he'll be alright.
Well, Jeff, he's actually just been decapitated by the boot of the goalkeeper, but he's a tough cookie. I think he'll carry on. Cheers, Jeff. Do you know what? Every time because I've been doing more I've been watching more like wrestling, like classic stuff. But every time I think of Jeff the Injury Man, Shreves, I always think of like people like Doc Hendricks, whose sole job when they had like a big merchandising live thing, where they didn't just sell it in like shops and online, was just to plug merchandise in like really short adverts.
Yeah.
Remember that, because that's what everyone remembers Doc Hendricks for. That and allowing Austin to verbally abuse Jake Roberts at King of the Ring because he provided the microphone.
Yeah. This is the name. This is the file name we're going with for this file that I can't save because I have no memory card inserted.
He's injured. Yeah. I think can we get the update? Yes, Alan. I think he'll carry on. Yes. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. That's why there's a question mark there. So sorry, but back
he's
to
brought back. He's brought back the Mayor Dower voice. Oh no!
It's just that looks so cursed. I was like, I couldn't even tell it was an English word at the start. I was like, is this like just symbols? And I was like, injured.
Anyway, we're here with TTYD, as you may have noticed. But this is not a playthrough. This is just the game is here as something for you to eyes. What did I just say?
The game is here for something for you to eyes. Eyes.
It's something for you to look at, because what we're really here to do is, this is the discussion stream that I said we were going to do. It's here now. Yes, I know we haven't done the post-game or the pit, but to be honest, we'll discuss those when we get to them. This is to discuss the main game. While it's relatively fresh in our minds, I know it's been like a month since the playthrough ended. Oh my god, it's been a month. Holy shit. But, I mean, I wasn't really able to do it before now because I've been busy, and then next month I'm going to be busy, and then like December I'm going to be busy, and then we'll be doing the other streams anyway, and I want to do it while it's relatively fresh.
I think that's a good idea, yeah.
So now is the time.
I agree with that.
So, welcome to Paper
It's
and Majima.
time.
Indeed, it's time. Welcome to Paper and Majima Discuss TTYD, whilst I play TTYD in the background, but don't pay attention to it, really. So...
Catchy. It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, that's the name of this one stream series. So, we've actually got a little bit of an itinerary lined up. I actually prepared for this, can you believe it? The stuff that we want to talk about. So I think first, let's just be a bit general about the game first. Because obviously everyone knows what I think of this game. It's not like it's literally the branding for my channel or anything. That would be weird.
Good point then.
So, it's a podcast episode. Yes, Gudgeon, this is the podcast episode, basically. That's exactly what this is. So, Majima, I'll open the floor to you to open this up with. Just in general, what did you think of the Thousand Year Door?
I thought it was very good. Yeah, I mean, it says a lot that like I've thought about it as a game a decent amount, and I've never felt like, oh well, they should have done this. It's just more like, no, it's very good. That's it. That's the post, guys.
He did it in He did it in 280 characters. Let's go. Yeah. So I mean, I'll throw my 2 cents in there because this needs to be a discussion rather than an interview.
It is. It is true.
I mean, anyone who knows me knows this is one of my all-time favourite games. I love this game to bits. I always have and I always will. And nothing's ever gonna convince me that this game is anything other than amazing. And actually, I'll throw out something a little more interesting than that because everyone knows that already. But I've actually, for the longest time, I'm talking about years and years and years, I always wanted to do a thing where I played through this game with someone else. And I've actually tried on more than one occasion to do that, and I'd never actually made it to the end of a like 2-person playthrough of this game until this series. So weirdly, this series was kind of the fulfillment of kind of like a dream of mine almost, which is kind of weird to say and kind of really sappy and dumb. But that's that's kind of how I feel. And I'm glad that I finally got to do that. One of my longest standing goals or objectives. I was gonna say games, but to be fair, just generally something I've wanted to do for a long time.
That's it. That's hit different, but in a good way. That's really nice. That makes me happy, and yeah, genuinely makes me very happy to hear that.
Yeah, and you know what a guy for it to have happened with. So you know what, I'm glad I had to wait 17 years.
I'm a lucky guy to fulfill the dreams of a lovely man on this stream. Okay, I bungled that, but I think you guys get the idea.
I was about to say, where's the ring, boy? You sounded like you were about to propose there. What the fuck was that music?
I'm glad I could. That's like the wedding music. That's like the wedding march. Like.
Oh yeah, I hear it now. I hear it this time. I didn't hear it the first
time. To be fair,
time.
I kind of trailed off because I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie.
Incredible. All right, so one of the first slightly more specified points then that I'd like to address. Actually, before we get onto that. Damn low budget weddings. Yes, exactly. I'm interested to see how far I can get in the game tonight. This will be intriguing. But anyway, the first thing I want to address, because obviously you've given us your thoughts on the game as a whole, I want to see if we can pick out any particular moments that we really enjoyed. So I just want to get
one already.
It might be the same one that I'm about to say, because there's one in particular. There's one moment in particular that I have, admittedly, not just remember, but I have actually gone back and watched several times.
Yeah, I think if it's the same one, I have also gone back and watched it. Yeah, because
we would be remiss if we were not to say that the general white freakout is not... you can't describe it as anything other than the greatest moment in the history of my channel. It really
it was genuine rage. Yeah, it was genuine rage. I didn't plan it. I said it all off the cuff, which kind of almost makes me feel proud of actually being funny for once.
I can't believe how funny, how well thought out, how good that speech was for being off, like, on the spot. Like, I couldn't do that. You see, it's moments like that that make me go, "You're actually a better streamer than I am," because that was actually incredible. I was sitting there laughing my ass off the whole time, and every time I watch it, I still get tears of laughter. It was just good.
That made it. That's like half of what made it is your reaction, and you like it was funny by itself. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'll take the. But the fact that you just sat there like, absolutely wetting yourself was also very funny. That's part of why I kept it going, because I'm like, Joe, this reaction is so good. I have to think up more stuff because I need to keep this going as long as I can reasonably keep it going.
But you picked up on literally everything in the frame. Yeah. Like, it's quite astounding. Like, you started
talking like this fucking guy's janky, stupid ass house. What a prick! He's sleeping in bed. He's chilling, and he's got all this dumb shit on like the walls and everything. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
I had no idea what was going on, but I was loving every second of it. So. Yeah, if anyone ever asks me, like, what is the best moment in the series, but also just in the channel in general, why have I done this? This was a terrible idea. Yeah, it's that. That's gonna be like, it used to be that I'd show, like, whenever I want to show people something from my channel, I show them the clip from Skyrim where the army marches over the hill.
Oh,
That
yeah.
used to be the moment. It's now the general white freak out.
The only thing I will ever regret about your like streaming channel is just the fact that you don't have that. It's not really a regret, but like it would be so cool if you had that Rayman clip. But I mean, I get also why it wouldn't have been saved because it's like, I mean, you have to consciously think to save stuff afterwards, don't you? Like it's the kind of thing I would probably forget. I wouldn't save anything because I wouldn't even be thinking about it. I would be thinking.
Yeah, it is a shame that the Rayman missiles never got clipped because I thought they had been. I was like, surely someone would have clipped that. Like, chat loved it. Chat loved it. But
yeah, but then it also does it does happen. You know that's I hate to say it cliche, but it's just kind of life, isn't it? Like, that stuff does happen. You know,
it's true.
It's true. Yeah, it is. Can I make more general, boring comments about my life? Well, not like deep life, but just like mostly gaming habits actually.
Go ahead. Yes.
I haven't played PC games in ages, and I don't know why. Like I used to play Overwatch a lot. I just haven't played it in ages. You know, it's been genuinely time since I played that game, and I don't even really know why. It just kind of has, to be honest.
Yes, the Overwatchers. I love that game. I play it all the time. Yes, I love to look at my Overwatch on my wrist to tell the time.
My watch broke, and I said, "Well, it's Overwatch."
Guess that's over.
And then I threw it away.
No.
I'm not jumping out of that fish. This is why he doesn't play Overwatch.
I'm not putting that watch over Bischoff. I'm not putting that watch over Bischoff. Oh dear. Oh my god, the fucking Spiky Goomba has a fucking sleepy sheep. What are the chances? Anyway.
Is this gonna be like the wacky stuff actually happens in the game in this stream specifically? Because that'd be quite cool. To
be fair, we got some wacky shit during the playthrough. We got a lot of like item and badge drops from enemies, which was insane. Anyway, speaking of moments, and like, it's not. Oh, he's actually gonna fucking use it, the mad lad. Maybe not quite maybe not quite moments, but one of the best things about the series was some of the voices we did.
Yeah, we had some very good voices. That's very true. Very true.
I'll let you open this one with any particular voices that you enjoyed.
I thought some of the companions had very good voices. I liked your for I'm gonna forget all the names. Let me just
They're on the
Vivian.
thing.
Yeah. No, I just thought to get it up. I like Vivian's. I thought Bobbery's was really good.
I'm trying to think who. I think I ended up voicing most of the partners.
You did. You did.
Sheer coincidence.
You did Gumbella.
I think I did everyone. I think I did everyone other than Coops and Flurry in the end. Which was
I think. Yeah, I did Coops, Flurry. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. I think, to be honest, I do better when I have less voices, just because I like if it's multiple, like if it's like 1 or 2, 3 characters, especially if they're different genders, I can like vary them up very easily. But I feel like I rely, like there would have been like 5 Scouse characters if I had to do loads of voices. But instead,
I mean, you say that, but you
instead I made Coops.
You did make some Coop Scouts, this is true. You did take a lot of the NPCs though, and I have to say I was very impressed with your voice acting. So if we're talking about specific voices, the one I will bring up for you is definitely Mayor Dower. Respect.
That's a good point. Is that the one where I was breathing in the whole time?
Yeah. The Mayor of Twilight Town. That one, yeah. Like,
breathe.
I can always respect
Yeah.
being so dedicated to the cause that you will undergo physical pain to complete
No, I
it.
will suffer. Yeah, I literally had to. Yeah, I literally had to take like massive breaths, and I was just like, I can do this, but I can only do it to a certain level, or I mean, I'm gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah. And of course, on my side, I will always love the grubber voice. Personally.
Yeah, just grab a voice.
Where here to
Pretty
go,
good.
Jalish? I mean, it's just.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
It's
that
the
was
thing.
good.
It's the thing I remember the most about the first playthrough. So it has a special place for me, and I will always hear Grubber talking in that voice from now on. Like even when I'm just reading the text, in my mind I will hear it, and I'll be like, no, why?
It's one of those you can't really forget, isn't it? To be honest, like
Yeah.
it's not like I think it's also it's the fact that it's like that deep South accent. Like that is a proper accent.
Where here to go, Jalish?
Hello, boy. Boy.
Was there any other particular moments that you or maybe the chat wanted to mention as well?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good point though. If you guys in chat think of anything, then just like by all means go for it.
Yes, please do throw thoughts and opinions at us because we are going to get into like a bit more opinion based later on. So we're going to address a few categories as we go along. By the way, I want to point out that I've got here in about 15 minutes, and I think when we streamed this for the first time, it took us 2 hours to get to this point. Which just to show you how dialogue heavily the prologue is.
Yeah. Yes, I was literally about to say that is it.
Speaking of the prologue, sorry, go on. Yeah, I'll just.
Oh no, it's not important. No. Go about the prologue. Mine is like unrelated.
Well, mine's a bit of a tangent, so we might be on it for a while.
Okay. If we ever run out of material, I will try and fill the gap with one of Ben's patented wacky facts. Ben's funny facts. So I only have 2 right now, so please try not to run out of material because I don't know where I'll get more from.
Okay. Fair play. What I was going to say, speaking of the prologue, one of the best jokes we've ever done, and admittedly by the end of it I think we did run it into the ground a little bit too much, but
no
like the first time we brought it up, the whole first edition of Playgoo joke was actually really funny.
It was funny, but I think we did alright with that because it was mainly whatever like episode we were on. It was that one, and like we knew when it was getting like, okay, this is like outstaying its welcome now, and then we just took it out back.
We took it out back. Jimmy, take out the dog. Yes, mother.
Take
For
the dog.
a walk,
Take the dog.
Jimmy.
I was trying to remember how it goes.
For a walk, Jimmy.
No, please don't. You can sell me on eBay. I'm still in mint condition. You've got a scuff on the upper right-hand corner. And you know what I say? If it's scuffed, it ain't good enough.
Unbelievable.
Not this time. Not like that. No.
Gudgeon liked the wrestling chapter. I also like the wrestling chapter. I agree with you, Gudgeon.
I'm pretty convinced that subconsciously the wrestling chapter is why I actually started watching wrestling again. It's part of the reason, at least.
Then I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, me too.
It's interesting. It's interesting though, because like I am starting to have to really think about the first 2 chapters, because obviously from chapter 3 onwards we did it all within like 4 days, which was absolutely wild. Like thinking about it now, like retroactively, it's like, how did we do that? But like we had to, because that was our last opportunity. Otherwise, it would have been like another year.
Oh yeah. No, definitely, absolutely. I was going to say we literally had to, like that was the moment.
Did enjoy the silly tangents you go on where you both just talk for hours about whatever shit happens. I feel like that's more a Majima thing because again he's better at it than I am.
Yeah.
But we both did it.
Because my mind just my mind does just wander all the time. To be fair, that is just
It's
how
not a
my mind
complaint.
works.
It's not a complaint.
Yeah,
it always makes for great
but
commentary. So
it's true. I guess I like to talk, but not like too much. But I do like to talk. Yeah, yeah,
I like talking.
yeah. Me like the talkie.
Okay. Going into another specific topic then. Let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this game, which is the combat. I want to hear your thoughts on the combat in this game.
Very good. Yeah, I thought it was very good. It's a very clever way of combining because I love turn-based for like the visual stuff, but I feel like, I mean, I don't know because I haven't played many turn-based games, but there is obviously a risk that it could get a bit stale, especially if you have to use like the same attacks all the time and you have to grind. But it was like active enough that it kept you feeling active, but it didn't like feel like they were dragging out combat encounters.
Yeah, I always think that like most turn-based RPGs need something to keep the engagement going. So, for example, the Mario, and this applies to all of the Mario RPGs. Like this is true of Paper Mario. This is true of like Mario and Luigi. It's even true of Super Mario RPG on the SNES. Is the action commands. The fact that you can't just throw out an attack, you have to input stuff as the attack's playing out. Helps to keep engagement with the combat.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. I literally don't have any criticism of it as a concept in the game. I think it's very smart. It's a good way to keep the game fresh and exciting.
Exactly. I also, in this game in particular, and you'll see when we get to, because I'm sure we haven't got anything set in stone, but I can see Majima and myself playing some of the other Paper Marios in the future. Along with other games, we would like to play some. We would like to do some more joint playthroughs at some point because this one was a lot of fun. But like, it's not in 64, and then obviously from Super they dropped turn-based entirely. So this is the only game in the series with the audience mechanic, and I love the audience in this game. It's just such a unique spin on combat, and I just feel like it adds a new layer to the combat, and in addition to that, the stylish moves, both a nice little gameplay mechanic, and also just really cool. I love seeing Mario belly flop on giant robots.
I love being rewarded for like what's the word? I love being rewarded for that whole meme of just like getting the nice satisfying little sound. And then just hearing him go like, and then he just belly flops on some motherfucker. I love it. Brilliant.
I'ma crush you with my guts. Boing.
Hey Luigi, how are we gonna win this battle? I don't know, Mario. How? These what? These motherfucking Italian bled nuts, Luigi. LMAO. Get the fucking dunked on, boy.
Unbelievable. The absolute mad lad.
I did it. I said the meme in my pocket now. Can I sit at the table with the cool kids, please?
Can you sit at the table with Roman Reigns? But anyway.
No. I didn't know where to take that bit.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Anyway.
I was gonna say like, please don't kill me. Then it's like, I don't know. He probably doesn't know who the fuck I am, which would be fair enough.
It's true.
I ain't that relevant.
Just acknowledge him as the head of the table and fine. Leaning into the combat a bit. The badge mechanic is also brilliant. I love the badges. As you can tell by the fact that I put all of my level ups into badge points. Oh, that was a 6 super guard. What the fuck? Yeah. Give me all the badge points. I want to customize my setup as much as possible, please. It's so good.
Father, I beg you, please let me customize my setup. Yes, son. Thank you, Father.
They they're so varied as well. Like they do all sorts. Like they're not just.
That's true.
It's not just boost your attack power or defense or whatever. There's a variety of things they can do.
That's very true. That's very true.
Which is quite cool to see. So there's that. Okay, a couple of points then that you commented on briefly throughout the playthrough. The first of which is writing. The writing in this game is
incredible.
It's not fair how funny this game is at points, honestly.
Yeah, it's not fair on my spleen. My spleen actually still hurts from laughing at this game too. No, but like, no, seriously, jokes aside. Jokes aside, yeah, I totally agree. It might have the best writing of the game though. Except maybe like Xenoblade Chronicles, because that had very good writing. I don't know. It's actually close, which says a lot. And it also says a lot about the idea that comedy writing is like always going to be inferior to serious writing, but it's really not. Because like comedy is hard to write as like a serious story. But people often don't give it the credit it deserves. But it's so well written that like it really you don't even think about that when you're playing it. You're just like, wow, this is really, really good. Really.
That's
good.
actually a point I hadn't even considered. But the game does have the writing does have the blend of comedic and serious down very well. It absolutely nails it. It knows when to be silly. It knows when to be serious, and it knows when to do a bit of both. And that's hard to do.
It's true. Oh, definitely.
I mean, when you got shit like, you know, Raw Colk, just in general.
Yeah, true. I mean, he's literally the stereotypical wrestler, but like it's funny, like it doesn't feel like played out or tired.
Somehow.
True.
Or
I mean, they could have so easily made it dreadful.
Flavio.
Oh, yeah.
What I need is romance and thrills and emotion and maybe even money.
Money.
I may be
to have money.
I may be a coward and a cad, but I'm still your captain. Like these aren't even like that's not even like up there with best lines in the game, but it still makes me laugh.
It's a great line, yeah, and that is in itself a great line. But no, what was I gonna say?
What's a finale without a Bowser appearance? A cruddy finale. That's what.
That's another good one. That's another really good. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. You tell me.
I can't. That's the problem.
Right. Well, moving on.
Yes.
And if the man remembers,
right now. If I remember, I'll mention it later. Yeah.
Yeah. So another point then would be music. I know there was one or two tracks that you in particular picked up on.
Every boss theme was at least like a 9 out of 10. It didn't have bad music. I didn't think of a single track where I was like, oh, that's boring. Oh, it's not really that great. Oh, it's bad. You know?
Yeah, I would agree. Which is, again, really hard to do, to make a soundtrack with, like, no misses.
That's very true.
One thing I will say, actually, is, over time, I'd sort of, well, what would the phrase be? Like numbed, I guess? It's not the right word, but it's the closest I can think to. But I just sort of, didn't think much about the 3 final boss themes, because each phase has its own.
I like that as well because
has its own theme. By the way, guys, spoilers. You know, because we're talking about the game. But yeah, I don't know why I just said the final boss. Like, all 3 phases of the Shadow Coin fight have banging music, and I never really thought about that before until you mentioned it. I was like, yeah, this actually fucking slaps. With each phase doing its own, like, you know, suiting its own purpose, particularly with the second phase just being, you know, this overwhelming sense of I can't fucking do anything.
That's fair. That's fair. I like how they set that up, but it doesn't feel like they worked it in very well. It didn't feel like cheap of like, oh, this is a phase where you like have to do this. I feel like it wasn't very well. My only criticism is it wasn't very well. What's the word? Choreographed very well. Like they didn't show it in a particularly clear way. I guess is what I'd say. If that makes sense.
I think I might have missed part of the train of thought there. Please reiterate for my
okay.
my small brain.
So like I thought that the final boss was great, and I actually like how they handled the phase where you are like meant to lose, you know, where like you can't win it. I thought it was done a lot better than it is in most games. The only thing I didn't like about it is there's no way of knowing that necessarily, like no clear way of being like, oh, I just have to hold out and do this specific thing. So you might like
the fact that you actually do need to attack to progress.
Yes, because most people would probably just be like, oh, I'm gonna defend and try and not die. You know?
I would love to argue with you and be like, no, how dare you fucking criticize this game? But I can't because I've done that myself on repeat playthroughs, so I know it's a thing.
Yep.
Where I've just defended.
It's easy to forget as well.
Exactly. It's like I just defend, and I'm like, why is the fight not progressing? It's meant to be 3 turns. What is happening? Also, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh dear.
I've come to talk with you again. This is the part where I hope Majima is actually looking at the stream and is just having like war flashbacks. Yes.
Yeah, you don't deserve to have hopes and dreams, you Russian sod.
Speaking of the writing, this kid's quite good. I gotta say, I'm really hooked on playing GBA games lately. There's this one game that just absolutely rules. It's called Fire Emblem. I agree with this kid. Hold the fuck up. How did we never mention this in the actual playthrough? This guy talks about 2 video game series the whole game.
Was it Fire Emblem and Paper Mario?
It's fucking me! What the fuck?
You're in the game.
They put me in this game, what the fuck?
You must have like won some competition when you were a kid and just forgot.
Clearly. The kid is just me. They put me in this game.
What on earth is it? What on earth is that bloody child doing?
Where are my royalties? Yeah, so when it comes to music, one I do remember you particularly mentioning that you liked was Macho Grubber's theme.
Yes, no, I do really like Macho Grubber's theme.
Whereas I think my favourite track is probably Raw Cork.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
I mean, some of my other favourites are I quite like Dupless's theme. That's quite good. I quite like the Bowser and Cammy fight theme. Rogue Port will always be a super nostalgic track to me, so that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those that you just like, it gets embedded in your memory, but in a good way. you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a Hyrule Field in Ocarina of Time, or a Saria's song as well, like something along those lines.
Definitely, definitely.
Or Peach's Castle in Super Mario 64. Just to throw out a few examples.
For some reason, I thought you said Paper Mario 64. I was like, I don't know if I heard that one, but no, that makes sense.
No, from Super Mario 64. Or again, the Comet Observatory from Galaxy. You know, tracks like that, where you just hear them a lot and they become embedded in your consciousness, and it's not a bad thing.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Another track I would also like to give a shout out to, which is not one that I think would be expected or anyone would particularly think of, is the track called "We're Counting on You, Mario," which plays in the scene during the final battle where crystal stars go out across the world and everyone's cheering you on.
Oh yeah, that's very emotional, actually.
I fucking love that track to pieces.
Yeah, that track's great. I hadn't really thought that tracks like that hadn't really occurred to me, but there was. If I went back and listened to them, they'd probably make it up there.
Yeah, like every time that track plays, at least with it, I don't know about outside of the game because I haven't listened to it outside of the game, yonks. But certainly with it in context, it fucking gives me goosebumps every time. Just like, oh, this fucking game. Even like the credits theme, even though it's like not like comparatively, the credits theme isn't like a massive home run compared to some of the other tracks, and I would never listen to it in my own time. But even that, I'm just like, yes, this works. This makes me feel things at the time where it has to.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh, definitely.
So, I mean, what can you say about the music, really? Hey, we have a level up, let's go.
True.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, the music in this game is just fucking,
it's
fucking,
to be honest,
incredible. Okay, I mean, did you have any other points you wanted to add? And don't feel like you have to say no, just because
no,
I've asked.
Nothing. No, genuinely nothing in particular, to be honest.
Okay, well, let me just glide past the. What's my gear looking like? Okay, I'm actually going to pay attention to the questions. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each like chapter and the areas in order, and I'm going to get some more focused thoughts from you on each one, and then at the end, we're going to rank them.
Okay, sounds good.
So we open up with the prologue, A Rogue's Welcome, which takes us to Rogueport and the Rogueport sewers, which is the introduction to the game, so we won't count it in the rankings because it is just the prologue setting up the story. But what did you think of? What do you think of the prologue? We'll make this one a bit brief compared to some of the others.
It was good. Sets up the game well. I mean, I guess I felt at times they could have shortened it a little bit, but like that's probably just as much. What's the word? That's probably just as much me being also that's probably a lot of that is probably the voice acting, like the fact that we were having to voice act a lot of it as well. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely the most dialogue-heavy part of the game.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it took us a long time to get through to it compared to like a regular playthrough of the game. We spent a disproportionately large amount of time in the prologue in this playthrough, but I don't regret it because, again, the reason we also spent so much time on it is because it was the part of the series that was the most dense with jokes. We made more jokes in the prologue, like per minute or whatever, than any other part of the game. Just because there was so much dialogue.
That's very true, that is. That's very true.
So you can't complain about that too much. It's
Not at all.
as we've seen this evening, you can actually get through it quite quickly.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so next up, then, the first actual chapter of the game, Chapter 1, Castle and Dragon, which is where I am at the moment. What do you know? So the areas for this are Petal Meadows, Petalburg, Schwank Fortress, and Hooktail Castle. What are your thoughts on Chapter 1?
My thoughts on Chapter 1. Again, it's good. It's like, it probably doesn't hit as hard as the others because it is an introductory chapter, and it's like, no game is really going to get into the groove straight away. I don't think, anyway. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I think it's a good chapter. It sets stuff up well. It starts to set up the main story. I like it. Yeah, I genuinely think it's very good.
Yeah, I really like Chapter 1. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm particularly nostalgic for Chapter 1. Makes sense, it's the first chapter. Like, it's honestly up there with some of my favourite chapters in the game. I just adore how everything fits together. Like, it is kind of generic in a lot of ways, but it's like,
Yeah.
good generic. Like, it does it really well. And obviously, I mean, like, the whole subplot with Coops and his dad is kind of heartbreaking until it becomes until it becomes funny.
Yeah, to be fair, no, I love that subplot. That's a good point. I hadn't really thought of the subplots much. I probably, honestly, knowing me, I'm going to struggle to remember a number of them. But no, I thought that was one of the best subplots. Probably, I would say it's one of the best subplots in the game, really.
Yeah, I mean, Coops is one of the partners that gets the most
Development.
Yeah. The only other ones that really come close are, well, I think the only other ones that really get a lot of development are Vivian and Bobbery, but we'll get onto that when we get onto that. So yeah, Chapter 1, so okay, we can both agree, is solid then.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So then that brings us on to Chapter 2, The Great Boggly Tree, which takes us to the Boggly Woods and the Great Tree. And that's when you realise that the name of that chapter is literally just they took the names of the two areas and put them together. I don't mind it if you want to like...
I'd never even noticed that. I genuinely never noticed that.
I didn't even notice it until I was saying it, to be fair, so...
You genuinely do learn something new about this game.
Every time I play it.
Yeah. Genuinely. It's unbelievable. Sign of a very good game, then.
Exactly, that's what I always say, and no one ever listens to me.
Nobody ever listens to me.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on Chapter 2? And if you want to look up like some images or whatever of each part as we've been talking about it to like refresh yourself, and of course, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think being refreshed of each bit might be nice. Just like even a quick refresher, because my memory for it is pretty dreadful. So yeah, I would be. A lot of it is. I might need a bit of prompting. And I don't want to like say, "Oh, you have to do this." Not at all.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, if I say the names of the areas, do you remember?
Yeah, I have a rough. Yeah, and I remember what they look like. Look like is generally fine. Some of it is also just like I more struggle with the what's the word? With the exact details than the visual stuff. Like the visual stuff, I'm usually okay.
Yeah. So to briefly, okay, well, you know what I'll do then? I'll like briefly break down what happens in the chapters, for memory's sake. So in Chapter 2, we meet Punio. He asks us to come help out fight the X-Nauts in the big tree. We fight the Shadow Sirens for the first time. Flo joins the party. She blows off the thing where the secret entrance has the big neon sign that says "Secret Entrance," which is an example of great writing in this game.
I forgot about that.
You go into the tree. You recruit the Punies Pikmin style.
Yep. They literally are just jazzy ass Pikmin.
And then at the end, you fight big bad robot guy.
Yeah,
so there's your refresher.
I enjoyed it. I felt like it was one of the weaker chapters, but it ain't bad. It definitely ain't bad. There ain't a bad chapter in this game. I just want to be very clear about that. Yeah, I thought it was good. It was just, I wouldn't even say unremarkable. Just like there are other chapters in the game that do a better job. Maybe it's because I like the Punies and I like the I can't remember the name of the species they were fighting against.
Oh, the Jabbies.
Yes, but I felt like
that was quite funny.
It was funny. No, it was funny.
The little battles that you have with them.
Yeah. That was probably the part I enjoyed most about that. How they just basically turned it into funny, like they turned it into like this one of those old like 3D strategy games, like Sega Saturn type stuff. And I appreciate that, and it was pretty funny to watch. But I mean, I just felt like it was a bit weaker than other chapters. Like other chapters did a better job, really.
That's fair enough. I have no qualms about going ahead and saying that Chapter 2 is my least favourite chapter in the game. But it's not bad. I still enjoy the chapter, it's just...
No, absolutely.
The other chapters have more interesting things go. I've never done that before. I've never seen that guy die to a super guard and the fuzzy horde run away at the same time. That's really weird. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit slow because like the Punies can be a little bit of a hassle at times. But that's about it, and it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing areas in the game. The Boggly Woods is fucking gorgeous.
That's a good point. It does look absolutely beautiful. That is a very, very good point.
So I wouldn't hesitate to put it as my least favourite chapter, but it's like least favourite implies that I don't like it, which is not true.
Yeah, and you do like it. Like you don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, it's not like I get to that part of the game and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this part to be over. No. I just get to it and I'm like,
there is no part of the game where you were doing. Let's be honest.
I wouldn't. I know some people would for certain parts, but we'll address those when we get there. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. Even though the following chapter is my favourite, and let's segue into that, which is chapter 3. Of Glitz and Glory, which is Glitzville and the Glitz Pit. It's the wrestling chapter.
Rest of the Glitz Pit. Yeah, that's definitely up there. I might have to just mentally go through. I mean, I actually really like chapter 4 as well. I thought chapter 4 was great. And I should get into that more later, like I said. But I'm just trying to think, like, chapter 3 is up there as one of the best. Easily. Might be the best. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I might even have time to think.
Yes! It definitely...
Yeah.
You're right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist celebrating. Come on!
I've just seen... okay, I see what you're on about.
It's really sad that I'm gassed about that, but I'm gassed about it.
You gotta be... Look, you gotta celebrate the small win things in life. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you've got to celebrate any victory. As a fan of... Yeah.
And now I understand.
But it's true though.
Now I understand why you sounded like slightly distracted in the build up to that.
Yeah, sorry, sorry.
I was like,
I was also just genuinely trying to think through it. Like, I was genuinely just trying to think through it, and I do tend to get a bit distracted when I'm processing all that information at once, especially with the other things. So.
No, that's fair enough. No, honestly, I heard you get gassed, and then my phone lit up, and I was like, I know what's happened.
Yeah, I was literally like, how am I going to say this? And then I heard the notification. It's all good.
Anyway, getting sidetracked.
Yep. Yep.
Hang on, I want to see what happens if you don't let Coops go. Change your mind, Mario. Let me know, okay? I'll be over there polishing my shell. Can't have an adventure with a dull shell. And he just stands here until you let him join. That's so depressing.
That's sad.
I've never actually said no to Coops before, so that was new.
So can you actually just leave without having him with you? Can you just go?
Well, I mean, you can walk off, but you need him to complete the chapter. Like, you can't feasibly complete the game without him. You need him for so many puzzles, including the very next puzzle. So.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's a brilliant
Like
point.
you literally can't make any more story progress until he joins. So it's kind of why would you not?
Yeah.
But yeah,
and he's Coops.
yeah.
Like, why would you not want Coops on your team?
Look at Best Boy. Look at him. Look at him. Chat. Look, I'm gonna put him in chat, and you're gonna fucking appreciate. You're gonna appreciate Coops. There he is. Look at him. I want to see everyone in chat and in the call giving some love to Coops. He's a good boy.
I love you so much. You are amazing.
Yes, this is exactly what this stream needed. So yeah, chapter 3, the Glitz Pit. Pog turtle right there. So yeah, Majima, if you want to go ahead with your chapter 3 talk, because I feel like we both diverged from that quite a bit.
We did. We just have. Yeah, I just think chapter 3 is great. I think the structure's good. I think it says a lot that even though you do a lot of fights, maybe not more than most other chapters, but like it's a lot at the same time in a row. And,
I mean,
despite that.
It's the most required fights of any chapter. But if you take into account the way we were playing it, which was that we were fighting everything we came across the first time, then it wasn't. Yeah, it was no more than any other chapter in that sense. So I mean, I guess it depends how you look at it.
No, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
That's fair enough. I love this. It's my favourite story within a single chapter. Like, you know how each chapter has its own story going on? Like in chapter 1 you've got Hooktail preying on the villagers. In chapter 2 it's the invasion of the tree and the war with the Jabbies. And chapter 3 is my favourite, with all of the mystery going on, and all the stuff with Grubber and Jolene, and the rivalry with Rook Hulk, and the mystery of X. There's just so much of intrigue going on in that chapter. I just fucking love it to bits, and it takes advantage.
Really, sorry, I was just saying that's when it really kicks into high gear. I think that's like the theme of chapter 3. It really kicks up a notch.
Yeah, and it really takes advantage of its like wrestling gimmick, funnily enough, as well. It really,
but not in a way that you can't. Yeah, but not in a way you can't enjoy if you're not like mad into wrestling as well.
Exactly, it's just so easy to enjoy. Also, based on the fact that it was the only chapter that took 2 streams. The longest chapter, at least when we streamed it. So that's pretty wild. Yeah, that was really stupid of me. Why did I do that? I fucking love that chapter to bits.
It is brilliant.
Again. Oh my god, I'm having a stroke live on stream. It's actually happening.
Oh no.
Oh no. But yeah, sorry. I feel like I've talked more about chapter 3. So if you You want to go ahead? I don't know. Did you make your point, or did I just talk over you?
I think I made it. I think it just like it has very memorable characters. Like the twist at the end still hits, even though it's not like a proper twist, but like it works, which is impressive because usually that just falls flat on its face. Like when they choreograph it and then it's the twist at the end, you know.
By choreograph, do you in fact mean telegraph?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I always get those words. I always get those.
Okay, because I was going to say, if it's telegraph, this sentence makes a lot more sense. Otherwise, I just don't understand what you're saying, and I'm being dumb. But I'm glad to know that I was not being dumb.
You're being absolutely wrong. I was being dumb.
Man, we get words confused. It happens. Yeah, no, it handles it very well. I think it has probably the highest number of memorable characters for a single chapter, because you've got Jolene, you've got Grubber, there's Rourke Hulk, even like fucking like KP Pete, the fucking Cooper, in the fucking minor league. What a G that guy is.
Yeah, to be fair, he was incredibly likable. Like that's good writing when you make a character that's barely there and has no real impact on the story. Like that important, you know? That's amazing.
Yeah, so I fucking adore Chapter 3. It's one of my favourite, like, stretches of game in any game. I'm always having a good time when I'm playing Chapter 3 of this game. So, yeah, fair play to T4ID for that.
Oh, absolutely.
And now on,
good job.
And now on from my favourite chapter to what it sounds like is your favourite chapter. Chapter 4. The Pigs the Bell Tolls, which is Twilight Town, Twilight Trail, and Creep Steeple.
It's definitely up there. So
for
I guess
a
it's just
recap
that. No, I can remember this one fairly well. I think that's why I'm saying it's favourite chapter. But
okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the main villain does such a great job of being a smarmy little sod that you actually want to like see lose, and I love villains like that. I think that's what you have to make your villain be like that, you know, like you want to see them get beat. Like I almost feel like Grubber was a great villain, but I liked him quite a bit, even right up until right at the end. Whereas Dupless is just like horribly unlikable, smarmy little snot-nosed brat, you know. And you just like it builds up that feeling of I just want to kick it.
Whatever Majima said, it was too inappropriate. We had to censor it. I'm really sorry, guys. We're just taking a slight break from Majima's disgusting tirade against people that wear bed sheets. It's not on. We can't be doing that. So we're just gonna wait until he's done. Oh, he's back. There we go.
Oh, we're back. I don't know why that just cut out. But
I don't know. Discord just do that. So Discord just be like that sometimes.
Why else do I like it? There's a couple of reasons that come to mind. Part of why I like it is just because I feel like the central mystery is so like interesting and it's like well done. Like they build it up and you're like, well, what could the reason for this like actually be? Like what could be behind like all of this? Like what is the history of this place?
I can't believe that they made an entire chapter out of what is this guy's name and made it really fucking interesting.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like I almost have more respect for when they're like they take a good like it's hard it's not too hard to take a good well it's hard but like if you get a good concept that does a good bit of work for you. If you have a concept like that, like they would have had to really use all their creative abilities to make that one work, but they did and it was brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Honestly.
I also like the fact that for the first half of the chapter you've got all these villagers are fucking shitting themselves. They are terrified by this horrifying monster that lives in the Creepy Steeple. And then you go to the Creepy Steeple and maybe you come across the Atomic Boom mini-boss and you're like, holy shit. That's not even the monster. Like, whatever this monster is, like, whatever the monster is, has to be worse than that. And then it's just a fucking bratty child.
Yeah, it's literally like a gamer.
Throwing a tantrum.
He's a gamer having a gamer moment, like an extended gamer moment. He is a gamer. That's what that kid is.
Yeah.
He didn't get his Mountain Dew and his special throwing a fucking fit at somebody because he's pissed. And it's very satisfying to knock some sense into him and not allow him to go epic gamer mode. It's pretty good.
I do love Chapter 4.
It's good.
So
it's
I'm
good.
I'm glad to hear someone not shitting on it for a change for the backtracking.
No, the backtracking was fine. I honestly, when you were mentioning be a real drag, and I it was fine. I almost thought it was no better or worse than every other chapter. So to be honest, I mean, yeah, there's maybe a little bit more, but it didn't feel that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's never the backtracking in this game has never bothered me. I don't inherently have a problem with backtracking in games, which might be why I like Metroid. But like, I don't know, like, I don't mind backtracking as long as I'm doing it for a reason. Why am I saying?
Yeah, I get you. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. This is the thing. I'm actually not a big fan of backtracking in games. A bit of it is probably necessary in every game. But that's fair enough. But no.
Oh no.
Use me brain. Let me just re-engage it. Just think. What's that?
Whilst my man is thinking, I would like to say, Gudgeon, that I am disappointed that we didn't make more pig jokes in that chapter.
That's true.
I feel like we failed society.
We did miss an opportunity there. If you only had one chance, one opportunity, would you?
Oh dear. Oh no. What have we done? We've awakened the darkness. Yeah, also Oh, go on.
Oh, sorry, that reminded me of something really funny. So I was watching like a cringe compilation of. Do you know mukbangs on YouTube? Do you know what those are?
No.
It's basically where horribly gluttonous people eat like absurd amounts of food. I'm not talking like one of those whole like Morrison's the best chocolate cakes. I'm talking like they buy like 10 burgers at McDonald's and like 10 large fries and sit and slowly eat all of it. And then they do like a vlog at the same time. And I just remember because one of them was like I was watching a meme compilation, and it was this guy eating like a huge amount of bacon on like a big like tray, and one of the comments was by a channel that was literally called Peppa Pig with that as their picture saying, "Has anyone seen George?"
Oh no!
Really big, and it's just the guy like, and it's just like you got the bottom half of the video, the top half is the guy just scranning the bacon.
Oh no!
Massive pile of bacon. It's really funny.
Like, it is funny. It's like horrifying and funny.
Yeah, no, I can agree. It's probably existentially horrifying. It's kind of funny as well. Gonna get cancelled by all the animal rights activists for that one, but it was funny. It was worth it. It made me laugh.
One thing I did want to say was, I really do like Dupless a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the most memorable characters in the game. Probably up there with one of my favourite Mario characters, actually. So to hear you giving so much love to Chapter 4, which usually gets quite panned, I'm quite glad to hear it. Even if it isn't my favourite chapter, it's probably up there, to be fair. So I'm quite happy to hear Chapter 4 getting some love. Because I like it quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
It's another one where the mystery hits.
Yeah, and Joe also.
That's the thing. That's the thing about
the twist is genuinely brilliant with Dupless. Like, it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
To the point where like I knew about it beforehand, unfortunately, because not. I mean, I just from watching like video game lists and stuff a long time ago, and it still was like, "Is that so cool?" And I was like actually like really gassed at it because it was so good. Like, I almost got so caught up in it, I forgot that I knew it. It's brilliant. No, I really like that twist. I think it's really well done. And it's a genuine twist that you don't expect it. Really. It feels a little off, but you're like, oh, no. You know? It's fine. And then it's not fine. And then it's not fine.
I feel like the chapters that have an overarching mystery are the best ones. Like chapter 3 and 4. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Definitely.
Fair enough.
Definitely.
Well, speaking of overarching mysteries, I don't know how much that fits into the next chapter, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Chapter 5, The Key to Pirates, which is Pirates, Grotto, and Kilo Key. Do you need a recap on this one?
I'll go over what I remember, because I remember a bit, and I don't want to make you do all the recap it. And then, if you wouldn't mind just... I mean, obviously, I'm probably going to not remember a lot of stuff.
I can fill in the blanks, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like Flavio, and all that crew sailing over to the island. Well, sailing, and then we got ambushed and marooned on the island, basically. And then it was about just traversing through the island, beating the fucking like captain, his ghost, I think, so we could get his ship and then use that ship to have a fight with the with Crump and his boys.
I mean, as a like very condensed summary, that's quite good.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, if I was to add a couple of points in there,
sure.
we initially just fight Cortez for the Crystal Star, and then once we get attacked by Crump, we go back to him, and then we get that cool set piece on the boats, and it's really cool. There's also all the stuff with Bobberay. We obviously get the backstory about when his wife passed away. And,
to be fair,
went to sea afterwards.
That was
he's
very
probably
good, actually.
He has the most developed backstory of probably anyone, actually. I was gonna say of the partners, but even like the other main characters don't get that much development. I don't think so.
No, I'd agree with that. Yeah, but then that's okay because that's what I like about this game is it develops side characters so much.
It's true. And then he dies. Spoiler. And then he lives. Spoiler.
Yeah. And to be fair, that was good because it had me on done for. And then they literally revealed he wasn't like there.
You know what I said about the game knowing when to do silly, when to do serious, and when to do both.
Yeah, it's a very hard balance to get as well.
Yeah, and that was the perfect example of the game doing both.
Definitely.
So,
definitely, and switching between them so quickly, but with such success.
Goddamn, I love this game. We've been gushing about it for over an hour now, and we're like not even close to being done.
Yeah,
so,
I'm enjoying gushing about it, to be honest. I'm
actually gonna finish chapter 1. I can't believe it. This is actually gonna happen.
You actually are.
My God. Yeah. Again, this is around the point where the like chapters 3, 4, and 5, where the bosses are particularly memorable. So obviously we had Rook Hawk, and we had Grubber, then we had Dupless, and then we have Cortez.
Yeah, again, Cortez is a great boss.
I mean, he even becomes... I mean, we didn't really use him much, because I didn't go back to Kilo Key all that often, but he does become an NPC.
Yeah, I like the fact they used him.
And he's your like little shuttle service to Kilo Key. Quite
nice.
Which
I thought was really cool. What would have been way better, and I feel like it would have suited him better, is if the next special attack you got with like the star, with like his star made use of Cortez, or like he was the one doing the attack. I mean, that would have been
quite cool.
Like if you put the star up and then he like sort of fades in, does like a roar, and then just goes ham on them. I would have loved that. That would have been so cool.
Oh my God! Just like get the 4 weapons from the last phase, and they just start raining down on the enemies.
That would be so sick. Oh, that would actually be.
Oh my God! Did we find a way to improve this game? Because Sweet Feast is like the worst move anyway because it's just stronger Sweet Treat.
Yeah, and Sweet Treat is actually, unless you're like
Kind of
really,
busted already.
Yeah, although part of that is probably because we play P.
Well, I suppose.
I guess.
True.
Probably.
True. We did play with low HP. So.
Yeah. I'm sure
Maybe.
people with like 100 HP see Pirate Man shank people. Surely. Come on.
Surely. Yeah. Surely people want to see pirate ghost murder. Let us know in chat if you wish this game had more pirate ghost murder. I want to see what the public opinion is.
Yeah, we need to get a vote on that one. Democracy has to reign.
We need to pass. We need to pass the bill in the House of Mario.
Yeah, I feel like now that we've gone over it, like Chapter 5 is not the best, but it's definitely up there. Like it's one of those ones you don't appreciate as much until you've looked back on it, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. Chapter 5. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm not entirely sure what I think of Chapter 5 because obviously I like it, but I'm not sure to what extent. I don't know how much I like it. Lily's saying what?
Put it this way, I guess. What?
Oh, hang on. No, I'll just clarify this for Lily now. We were saying instead of Sweet Treat, they should have had a special move where Cortez just like fucking rains down all his weapons on enemies, and that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to have seen that instead of fucking sweet faced?
So, the question is, do you guys want a crazy ghost pirate going ham on people with 4 massive weapons, or do you want diabetes?
I know what I'm choosing.
Me too. Get me the insulin and hook me up to that dialysis, because I fancy a couple of twirls and a flake.
Okay.
Although even if I don't actually have any chocolate in the house, which is a shame.
I'm scared of Gudgeon's comment, to be honest. So I'm choosing not to respond to it.
Oh no! Help!
Help me.
Mama, I'm uncomfortable. I need an adult.
Okay, next up is Chapter 6, 3 Days of Excess, which is the Excess Express, Riverside Station, and Oshley Heights.
You know what? To be honest, I think my opinion on this will surprise you, because even though it literally riffs on something I absolutely love, is murder mysteries and like I don't know what you'd call them, like characters stuck together in a certain like environment that they can't get out of, and they have to work together, even though they've only just met, sort of thing. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though it ribs on that, and I love that, I didn't really think that much of Chapter 6. I don't know why. It just maybe remind me of some of the stuff that, because I remember it being on the Excess Express. I guess I don't remember the other areas that well, so maybe.
So we open up with the threat of a sticky yummy do.
Yeah.
Then we have the whole who stole the stew thing, and oh no, it was the Fat Toad. What a surprise!
Yeah, that is like it was still somewhat funny because the writing is so good, but that was, I don't know, it just felt very flat, to be honest, didn't it?
I mean, it was a minor point, to be fair. That whole thing exists to introduce Pennington, so I'm like whatever with it. Yeah. You have the whole escapade to get the autograph for Bub.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, Bub is just horribly unlikable, so it's like, go away.
Although to be fair,
go away, you spoiled child, leave me alone.
To be fair, by the end of that side quest, you had come round on him a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true. I mean, it still felt a bit like, it was a bit like corny, but it kind of worked at the same time.
Yeah, it did a good job of humanising him.
Yeah,
well done, game for humanising the bomb.
Well done, game for humanising Tory child. Well done.
There was then the thing with the ghost and his diary, where if you read it, you get a game over.
Oh yeah, again, I like that, but it just doesn't hit as hard as a lot of the game.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Like, it
I
was
will
funny.
find after this stream. I will find the clip of what happens when you read his diary, and I will send it to you. Because
Okay,
I don't think
maybe I
I've ever,
like it more then.
I don't think I've ever actually seen it myself. So that
Okay,
would
yeah,
be
no, I'd
something.
like that. No,
So that'd be
alright.
something interesting.
Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
As I'm saying this now, I'm realizing that Chapter 6 is just a fuck ton of like side quest-esque things to do back to back. Because then after that, it's the next day, and the guy's had his briefcase stolen.
Yeah, that's right. I almost.
And then you have to like go around and like you find the thing in Zip Toad's room, and then
Yeah.
you find the thing in your room. Oh no, I don't have any.
Yeah, and then it turns out Zip Code was an imposter. He was the sussy imposter.
It was actually Dupless.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool reveal. I like that. I like the fact they put him back in a way like that. Although that's not is that the last time? That's where he appears again afterwards. Isn't
No, that's not. It's not the last time he appears.
it? Yeah, okay.
So don't you worry yourself about that. And then there's the whole. You have Riverside Station, which is the dungeon. Weirdly, which is quite cool. It's not the best dungeon in the game. It's kind of. It's a bit of a weird one, to be honest, especially when you get to like the deepest room just before you get the spring boots. And it's like, here's a puzzle where you press the buttons as many times as they say, and also you have to kill some Goombas, which are like prologue enemies.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
Like, I've always found that particular room to be incredibly strange. Like, I don't know why that's there. What the reason behind all that was, but I think it's an interesting place. Oh, also the game lags. when you're out, like on the in the outside room on that area, so that's kind of weird as well. And then you get back on the train, you wake up the next morning, everyone's disappeared, and you fight Smorg because why would you not? And then you show up in Poshley Heights. You get the the Shadow Sirens beat you there, but they steal the fake Crystal Star, and then you get the real one, which is inside the painting.
Yeah, that's right. But hold on, let me just.
See you, Gudgeon. Thanks for coming to the stream. Hope you enjoyed, man. Take care. Have a good night. See you around.
Have a good night, mate. See you around. I think I got a little bit cut off there.
And then yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's your summary. Now that I think about it, like a lot happens in that chapter. There's a lot of plot points going on.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess that's what sort of surprises me is it is definitely a longer chapter. There's a good amount of it, and yet none of it felt like it was hitting the way that a lot of the stuff in the game. I think it's almost like, I know it's a cliche of like in the like quirky cast of characters for a detective mystery, especially one that's like in a train where they're all like close together. A lot of them do tend to be kind of unlikable caricatures, but the problem is they were just kind of unlikable. They almost went for that, and they like did it too well. So it's just like, I don't really want to help these people. Like I don't really like them. Like I don't really want to get to know them or anything. Like they're just caricatures. Like even Pennington, like he was funny. Like I liked him, but he just felt like a caricature of, oh yes, I'm so intelligent, but I'm actually completely stupid. He didn't feel like a fully fleshed out character, like a person, the way that a lot of the other characters did.
Do you know what? And like this is I mean, this is my recency bias where I compare things to things that I've experienced recently, and also you haven't actually played this game, so it's not going to make the most sense to you. But he's kind of like if Herlock Sholmes from Great Ace Attorney wasn't fun to be around.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing. Like, I've read a good number of those. I mean, I've read the story.
But I still like him. I still
like him. I still like him as well. I still like him. I don't dislike him.
But he's like a worse Herlock Sholmes.
There's not much to him. There's not much to him, really. And after a little while, you are a bit like, okay, what?
Shut up, man.
Not even that for me. Yeah, this bit is a bit like this bit. Like he's literally consistent a bit, and his bit is, I'm a detective but I'm actually just oblivious and stupid. Like, he has some great moments, like when he talks to the villains, like that's very funny. But that's it, like he has great moments, but he's not a great character. He doesn't feel like you really care about him and get invested in him to do with the other characters. He feels like a caricature. That's what I was going to say, because you said right that he just feels like he's less fun to be around. A lot of shows. That is a name. That is a name.
It is a great name.
That's a great name.
Mate.
No, I like that. I love that. I love that sort of janky humour. Good janky. I was just
it's
saying,
interesting. Sorry, go on.
Okay. I don't mind if you want to say your thing first.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I was just saying, obviously I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't know if you've read much of this sort of stuff or like if you've read this particular work. So
I think I know what you're about to talk about, and no, I have not read it.
There's Murder on the Orient Express.
I have not read it, but I think I know the main beats of what happens.
Yeah.
But we won't.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about it in case people in chat have not.
Yeah, if you're in chat and you want a book to read, very good book. I would recommend. Great book. I'd recommend most of Agatha Christie's books. But anyway, I've read a fair amount of detective stuff, like of various different authors. So like,
I didn't put the badge on. I'm so fucked.
So and like different styles and different they don't all use the same plot tropes, is what I mean. And I've obviously read Murder on the Orient Express, which is basically what that story is paying homage to. And the thing is, like, the thing that makes most of those characters likable is the main detective or the main person of the murder mystery is very charismatic, and they're interesting and you're really drawn to them. They're really well done characters. They have a lot to them, and they're quite magnetic, like Poirot and Maigret. Pennington really just doesn't have that. I mean, I get he's not the main character, but I feel like they could have really made him a lot more compelling, and they just didn't really manage to hit that, which is fair enough. You can't do everything perfectly right. The game does so much right anyway. But yeah, they didn't quite hit that beat with Pennington.
That's fair enough. It's interesting because there was a point in time where I would have made the argument that Chapter 6 is the best chapter in the game.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
But it's definitely the chapter that I think my opinions on have changed the most over time. Oh my god, the game's just gone through clutch for me.
Interesting, and what was the evolution of that changed it?
Over time, I don't think as highly of that chapter as I used to, because the thing, and I think I actually can explain. Once I've done my sweet treat.
Fair enough. Fair play. Certain things cannot be forgotten, even in the heat of game.
Take this fight as your demonstration of why you need to appropriately prepare for fights in this game, because otherwise you will get fucked on.
Yeah, I don't understand getting fucked on. That does sound.
Oh no.
Could do without that, to be fair.
Because of all, I mean, if we discount the prologue, it's the one that's the most imbalanced with gameplay to story ratio.
Well, there's a lot of story and not much gameplay.
There's a lot of dialogue with minimal amounts of gameplay. The only real gameplay comes in Riverside Station.
No, that's a really good point.
So on a first playthrough, I think it's actually very good because there's a mystery going on. There's entertaining dialogue.
Yeah.
And you can just sit back and enjoy it. When you're like me and you've played this game far too many times,
it drags.
The dialogue doesn't hit in the same way it used to. I still think the dialogue's quite good, and I still appreciate the mystery, but I'm not experiencing it for the first time, so it doesn't hit in the same way. Whereas something like Chapter 3 has a good mystery that I still appreciate. But it also has.
Chapter 3, isn't it? Really.
I mean, there's that, but it also has substantial gameplay to back it up.
Yeah, that's true as well. It's more I don't know if consistent's the right word, but it has more substance to it. It's got more good foundation. I think.
It's more complete.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. absolutely. I think it's a better chapter all round. It's a strong. I would be pretty happy to defend that point. To be honest, easily.
So yeah, it does make me sad to say that I don't think as highly of Chapter 6 as I used to.
Yeah, it's a shame,
But
isn't it?
I still think it's good.
Yeah, ain't bad. I think it's definitely not better. It's definitely better. I'm trying to say. I guess what I would say is just yeah, I almost feel like what you've said has made me realise I might have almost read a lot of mystery books because it plays so heavily on those tropes, but it doesn't do them as well as a lot of like proper mystery stuff. I guess it's just maybe that was the writers, and so they didn't need to set that sort of thing up. Maybe.
Possibly. I mean, maybe I like it more because I haven't really read that many of those sort of things.
It's a bit like, you know how sometimes the first work you read as a book is like what gets you into it, and a lot of the time you end up finding much better examples. So when you go back to the first thing you read, you're kind of like, now this isn't as good as I remember. Like this doesn't fit the same way because I see where it's drawing from now. You know, or maybe to use an example that might help. Might make a bit more sense is like, let's say if you play like the very first game and you're like, oh, I want to play the rest of them, and then you play the rest of them and you go back to the first game, it's generally not as good. Like, it doesn't feel as polished, it doesn't feel as unique and special.
For fuck's sake.
And usually it's been outstripped by later games. It'd be like if Mario Kart 64 was the game that got you into Mario, and then you played everyone after that. You'd kind of sort of go back to Mario Kart 64 and be like, this is janky as fuck. I was gonna say Super Mario Kart, but that's not a fair comparison. That's like beating up a 5-year-old. It's like just not even remotely fair. So I didn't see picking on a 20-year-old and 5-year-old. Not fair.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from there. I will still defend the chapter from I won't accept that anyone's saying it's bad, but
no, it's not bad.
I don't think as highly of it as I once did.
Yeah. What was your like? Did you have like a particular process of like stuff that you really liked about it when you thought of it really highly? Like, could you talk us through like what was behind that and like what your thoughts on it were then?
I liked it back. The thing is, back when I thought more highly of it, it was a case of it's arguably the most story-heavy chapter, and I think that means it hits hardest on a first playthrough. Yeah. Which you obviously don't agree with because this was your first experience of the game, and you didn't think it hit that hard.
I genuinely think a lot of it is if I didn't notice the tropes of the detective stuff, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. But when you notice that and you realise they're not doing it that well, you do sort of think, okay, well, this can't really grab me in the way as a lot of other stuff I've enjoyed that is better. But that's just a unique thing for me. I think a lot of people would probably enjoy it a lot more because it is good. It's not bad. The writing is still good. I guess it's just sometimes as a good writer, there's only so much you can do even when you are really good. Because if you're writing a character that doesn't have a lot of depth to them, and you're writing like someone who isn't that likable, it's hard to get beyond that. You know, it's very rare. I think.
Fuck! Did I pull that off?
That's what they would say if they were able to do it, yes, but most aren't, sadly. It's a real pity.
I don't know how I won that fight. There's a crushed toad under Mario's feet. What the fuck, man?
What? Jeez, wait a fucking minute. Oh my god.
Fucking dead toad.
Oh my god, there is. Oh my god, he's literally up a flat dead ass toad. This man
is wiping his shoes on another man's face.
He really is. Wow. Okay.
We got distracted.
We did. I mean, that's probably something that's reasonable. Distracted
yes,
by,
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. It's just I feel it's like I'm trying to think of characters that I like, characters that are objectively horrible that I like, and there's only one example I think of, which is a really stupid example, but I think it holds up, which is like J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, who is probably, I mean, he bucks the trend because he is the funniest character in literally anything. He's so well written. I don't know. He's just funny. I literally can't. He is just absolutely bloody hilarious, to be honest. So he bucks that trend and makes me look like a dum-dum.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I find it interesting that Chapter 6 is the one that we've had the most debate on.
Yeah. I guess a lot of it is just because it has a lot of significance to us. Riffs on a genre I love, and you obviously have had that like shift of opinion with it, which is that's a pretty big thing in its own right. I think so anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I now hate the chapter.
No, not at all. I mean, you never said. You specifically said.
I still love it, but it's like I would know. Like I used to be like I don't know if chapter 3 or 6 is my favourite, whereas nowadays I'm like it's definitely chapter 3.
Yeah, I think chapter 3 is just tighter. It's like it's shorter, but it's shorter in a good way, like leaner. I could say. It just feels better paced, better like constructed than chapter 6. I think. You know.
I think the mystery's better, and it has the gameplay to back it up.
Yeah, and again, I would say it has much better character across the board as well.
Yeah, that's true. Grubber, Jolene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Grubber,
they beat out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the only one you really have going for you in chapter 6 is Pennington. Yeah,
and even then, I felt like we've kind of dissected his character. So not like we're not saying he's bad again. He's good, but we're saying like he doesn't
quite. He doesn't quite match up to some of the other characters in this game. He's just memorable because he calls Mario Luigi.
Yeah. To be fair, that was a good bit.
Which was quite funny. I think the funniest part about that joke isn't the joke itself, it's the fact that the L emblem, which gives you Luigi's clothes, does exist in the game, but you can't possibly have it until the end of the chapter.
Yeah, I do love that as well.
That's like fucking meta joke right there.
Yeah.
So
very, very meta. Meta in a good way. Meta in a clever way. Not being meta for the sake of being meta.
Good meta. With that, let's move on to Chapter 7, which is Mario Shoots the Moon, which takes us to Far Outpost, the Moon, obviously, and the Exnor Fortress. I just want to open on this one quickly by saying it has, I think, my favourite set piece in the game. Which is
the cannon launch.
The cannon, which
it is incredible.
We were talking about the music earlier. I don't know the name of the track, but the one that plays when the cannon launches is another one of my favourites.
Let me try and find the name. I'd also like to listen to it.
So. It's such a banger, and it completely makes the moment.
I think it's just called Blast Off to the Moon. I think
it probably is. I think it's the only time in the game it ever plays.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of, actually? Star Fox music, funnily enough.
Kind of. You know what? That's actually not a bad comparison. That's fair enough, actually.
I don't know how I just pulled that out my backside, but here we are.
Yeah. Fair play.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, thoughts on Chapter 7, and you don't just have to focus on the General White part.
I mean, that was amazing but I guess I do have to give it points for that because it did create something great.
Honestly, I mean, after so many years of listening to people rag on this game for the backtracking and pointing out General White as the problem, and just like, I wouldn't say arguing with people, but I'll just say arguing with people for the sake of it. Yeah. About that part of the game is all worth it for that moment.
I think what helped is that I wasn't like getting pissed off at it because I was still I was in a great mood. But it just like I almost It wasn't a bit because I was genuinely like, I know where this is going, and I just gradually got more exasperated. I think it's because I was so exasperated. That's why it was. I wasn't like pissed off and getting pissy about it. I was just
It's the part. Oh my god! Oh my god! It's the part where he walks out the door,
Oh yeah.
and you stop reading the dialogue, and you can like even on the video, I can hear you just like go to the door and just in the hit distance, just go, "Fuck's sake, man!"
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Like I just hear you like gradually, you like finish his dialogue, and then there's just this silence when you're like chuckling because you can see me at the door.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just about to like lose it, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, man! Like that janky voice, and then I just sit down and I say the dialogue like really like sarcastically because I just know where it's going, and then we walk in.
Yes.
And I just fucking explode. Do you know what the most underrated part of that meltdown is, if I do say so myself, is when the first time you jump on him, I just scream, yes, yes!
Yes! Yes! No, honestly, I think that is one of the best parts. That is one of the best parts. Also, the part where he's like, he's got no pillow, no cover, no duvet. He's not even put the mattress protector on. And like, just when you talk about the mattress protector, I just fucking die every single time. I have no idea why. I don't know why that's funny. It just is. That's probably my favourite part of the whole thing. And then, like, right at the fucking end, where you're like... It goes quiet for a second, much like it does right now. Because Discord's being a little shit, but I'm going to keep
anything
talking.
I could have yelled about, I scream.
It's back now, by the way.
No,
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so the fact that you scream about the fucking mattress protector, and then it gets to the end, and like, you stop for a couple of seconds, and you think it's all over, and then you just yell, "Wake up!"
Yeah, and then I just scream it. I literally like yelled it. My voice actually hurt afterwards because I was shouting so loud.
Oh my god, that's like top 3 moments of my life right there. Not gonna lie.
It's I think it's the best moment I've ever had on stream. Like the funniest moment I can remember. To be honest,
it's the best stream moment. I could watch it every day. To be perfectly honest, it's just it's amazing. But that's not the only thing that happens in this chapter. So what do you think of the chapter as a whole?
I quite like it. I quite enjoy it, to be honest. I mean, at first I was going to say, oh, if I didn't make that meltdown at General White, I would have did it. But it was actually quite well written. Now that I look back on it, it was genuinely pretty funny. Like it was a lot. I know I was exasperated at the time. I think maybe that was just because I was like tired. I don't know. I mean, it's probably still not great, but like like the dialogue of it is quite funny, and just the sheer absurdity of going through so many locations and number of dead ends. Like it would normally be annoying, but it is actually kind of funny because it's just it's just because it's the 1000-year door. It manages to make it fun. No, I like it. I really like the X-Naut Fortress. I feel like it's very climactic and it's a really great. I mean, it's the dungeon, if I remember correctly. Is the X-Naut Fortress the dungeon? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a very great. It's a great setting for a dungeon because it's like the penultimate one. And it's like right before the end, so it's like it's keeps that sense of like occasion and like, you know, finality and it being like a big thing, you know, like it keeps that sense of grandeur about it. But also, I guess just the fact that you've had the place built up for the whole game and you've been there, but you've never been able to explore it is very satisfying when you get there. Yeah, I think. It's very cool.
Definitely that whole thing of like seeing bits of it as Peach, but never truly understanding the place and then properly getting to explore it as Mario is a really good feeling. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
the only thing
that's exactly it.
The only thing I will say about it is that that last room before the boss is janky as fuck, and you can like skip half of it for some reason.
Yeah, although again, I'm sort of like, yeah, that's not great, but I don't mind glitches unless they're like, are they really obvious? You should have fixed this. But that kind of stuff, It's not even a glitch though, because if you just do the second part first, you can then just like jump down onto the platform and skip the puzzle for the first part. It's really weird. Yeah, that's a good point. But again, I guess it's like I don't mind oversights in design like that because it does happen. We're all humans. I mean, maybe I'm being biased. Maybe if it was in a really bad game, I'd be like, oh, how could they do that? But I don't know. For some reason, that doesn't upset me too much. Although usually I'm very finicky about that sort of stuff.
It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't upset me. Like I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I
mean,
wouldn't.
more like
I don't shit on the game for it, but I'm just like, that's kind of weird.
yeah, no, and I get what you mean. Like it is like you definitely should. You like if I was, let's say, reviewing this game objectively, I would be like, okay, well, this is here. Like this is a kind of an issue. But I get. I mean, I think maybe when I was saying that, I sort of meant more like not that you're going to get like really annoyed about it, but more like it sticks out to you enough that you're sort of like, this is a thing that I would criticize it for, which is fair enough because it's
This
there.
is
You've got
this
to
is
call
me.
it as it is.
This is me in my mindset of I don't want to criticize this game, but I have to be objective, so I'm going to find something that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, which I admire. Like that's pretty crazy. I mean, I still don't know if someone criticized loads of Yakuza 0, I wouldn't just like flip my shit and be like, bro, how you gonna roast my favorite game? So fair play. Like I think you're very balanced and fair about criticism of this game, and you've got to call it as it is. But it's not very easy when you love something.
I think for me with this game is that there are things that I can identify as being perhaps on an objective level not great, but none of it. But I will also counter that by just saying that none of it ever affects my enjoyment of the game, so I don't really give a fuck.
No, I guess really isn't that the way we'd all want to be with every game? You know?
True.
Like, isn't that the way? Isn't that the best way to enjoy? I think. I mean, like, for an example, I'm not being paid to plug this. I really wish I was. I watched Venom 2 yesterday, and like, I guess I went into that film, and throughout it, I could be like, okay, it has this flaw, this flaw, this flaw. But I guess I just sort of got sucked into it and enjoyed it for what it was, and enjoyed the aspects of it. And because of that, I got loads more enjoyment out of it than if I'd sat there and dissected it and probably would have been like, okay, this isn't a very good film. That's sometimes what you want to do. You just want to enjoy something, get the pleasure out of it that you personally enjoy from it. Like just let it work for what it. Just let it what's the word? Just let yourself enjoy it because of what it means. Like this game obviously means a lot to you, Paper, but that's a good thing. Like that. Like some people are a bit snooty about it and they'll say like furious stick mashing. That's probably those same people I'm about to talk about replying to me in the comments. No, so some people are very snooty and they're like, oh well, and yada yada. But no, I think like this game has flaws, but it's very special. It's a very special game, and it has something that those flaws don't really affect it much at all, to be honest. Like it's just such a unique, special game. Yeah, I guess.
Couldn't put it better myself, to be perfectly honest. Pretty good. That's actually that's actually a really good summary of exactly why the objective issues. Well, yeah, why this game slaps, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, no, you're saying objective issues.
I was saying why the objective issues don't bother me.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying the objective issues about something. Just bear that in mind, and like for people who might watch this, apart from everyone here, because I know everyone watching is very lovely and nice, but like a general piece of advice: just if you're gonna like objectively criticize something, just don't be a dick about it. Just like understand that someone else might really, really love it. You know.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm well known for shitting on particular games. Like I will freely admit that there are certain games that have been under intense scrutiny from me in the past. But like, if people enjoy those games, like, enjoy it. I wish I could. I want to enjoy every game that I play. That's that's why I play games. I'm never happy about the fact that I don't like a game.
Of course, I don't think anyone ever is. I don't know if a reviewer. I've read some reviews of like films, games, and stuff. It's like absolutely been like they've made it like very entertaining with torn something apart. But I don't think there's an enjoyment there. I think there's this sense of frustration that all this creative energy has gone towards this thing and it sucks. And like, I have to go like watch it and do it for the purpose of writing a review of it. But it's like, there's so much wasted potential here. I mean, like, look, and put it another way, if I could go to like the bin and game and pick out like a £2 game every day and enjoy that game even if it was terrible, that'd be pretty sick. I'd love to do that, but I wouldn't because I'd probably end up picking up like Mind Jack or Connect Adventures, and I'd just be like, "This sucks. I'm not enjoying myself."
I hate life.
I hate the way that this has turned out. I'd pick up like Sonic 3 day, and I'd just be like, "Can I use a Connect to disintegrate myself? Is there any way?
Oh God,
technology available?"
Does Connect have a laser beam?
Does the Connect use infrared laser technology to destroy all of our foundations of the possibility of there being a good Sonic racing game ever again? Yes.
I swear there was one last year that was pretty decent.
No, I was literally about to say. I was literally going to until they made the Sonic and Sega All Stars, which are supposed to be quite good. I haven't played one of them in ages, but they're meant to be pretty good.
I played the first one. It was pretty good. I mean, it was basically just a Mario Kart clone, but it was a good Mario Kart clone.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's a good. That's literally what they are. They're very good. They're very good competent Mario Kart clones for people who don't want to buy a Nintendo console. it's a good market. It's a good market. I mean, there's a good market, to be fair. That's a market. There will be a market that exists for that. Definitely.
Exactly. Also, pulling it back to the topic of discussion, Chapter 7.
Yeah, sure.
There's also the heartbreaking scenes with Tech at the end.
Yeah.
Chapter 7.
I guess that's Chapter 7 does benefit in a kind of not an undeserved way, but about way, because it does get all those big story beats because it is the penultimate chapter. But then it's still very good.
It has a lot of relevance to the main plot, whereas most chapters are their own self-contained stories.
Yes, but then on the other hand, you've still got to write it good, and it's still written. So
it's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
Yes.
And then Chapter 8, The Thousand Year Door, which takes us to the Palace of Shadow.
Very, very good. It's just amazing. Amazing bosses, amazing atmosphere. Great way to round the story out. Probably the only time, again, this game takes so many ideas that I don't like and makes them work. Because usually I hate the trope of the villain revealed at the end. You know what I mean? Like, what was that Final Fantasy game where they spent the whole game with one villain? This random ass guy comes out at the end and you beat him and he's gone.
I don't know which one that is, but I know what you're talking about.
Because the thing is, technically, this game does a pretty similar thing. Like, it loops every now and again. Yeah. But it still does a pretty similar thing, but it works. I think because she's just such a good villain. Like, she's such a legit threat.
I mean, I think the game does enough of a job of setting it up, because it doesn't... It doesn't come out of nowhere. The game does allude to it on a number of occasions. Like, as early as Chapter 4, they tell you that the treasure is a demon's soul. So you know it's there.
Yeah, that's true. I think the thing is, though, this is what I'm almost... I mean, that's a very good point, but I'm almost saying it's good enough to the point where, like, the way they do it is good enough to the point where, like, even if they didn't build it up, I still would have been hit pretty hard by it. Like, I still would have been like, this is really, like, cool and ominous, and it actually feels like a worthy final boss for this game, because it was like they just nail the atmosphere. They nail, like, the frightening, like, ominous feel of it. Like,
it has a great atmosphere, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's it. That's what sells it. That's genuinely what sells it. So I think it's that good that, like, even if they hadn't built it up at all, it still would have worked. Whereas, like, something in, like, comparing it to that Final Fantasy game, I don't remember details, but I know that it's literally just, like, a totally random ass pull. They don't build it up. And the final boss, like, character is just really boring and uninteresting. So that's it. Like, they make it work off their own backs in Thousand Year Door. Which, again, is just amazing, because, like, it's so hard to make something like that. It's so hard to make it feel like because you've been like Grodus through the whole game is a legit threat. He's very well written. He's like an unlikable villain. He does a lot of crappy stuff, and you want to give him his punishment. And then the Shadow Queen turns up and she fucking obliterates him. She destroys him in 1 second, which is again a good way to build up a villain, because like there's this whole guy who you've basically not been able to touch, and you've just had a really tough boss fight with him, and she just destroys him with like one laser.
She literally blinks and he fucking dies.
Yeah, he's literally like trying to. The first time she just utterly obliterates him, and she's just like, "Oh no, you're nothing.
You're pathetic.
You're totally beneath me." It's just like, fuck. Jeez.
Man, why is this game so good?
It just is, bro. It just is.
Rare.
Bro.
Oh, that's not the button I wanted. Okay, I was gonna say rank the chapters, but we might be here forever if we do that. Because we
True, I think
we
would definitely have to go on a proper debate. I think.
I mean, that could be a discussion that we could just have in our own time, and then maybe just share the outcome of it. But
or we could even do it on an unrelated stream, I guess.
I mean, we could do that. That's also true.
Yeah.
What I would suggest instead is if for this we'll just say favourite and least favourite.
That's a good question. Favourite for me, I think it's a tie. It's a tie between 3 and 4.
You know what? I'm glad because like at the time once we finished chapter 3, you're like, I'm not too sure. But now that you've had time to think on it, it seems like it's gone up in your estimation a little bit the more you thought about it.
I mean, I think I really like chapter 3. No, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like it. It's one of those sorts of things.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it because chapter 3 is definitely my favourite chapter.
I feel like usually I take the chapters of games out of that because it's like the one that you're probably going to have the most fun of because it concludes everything and it's like the big showdown. Chapter 8 is as good as Chapter 3 and 4, better. But I don't know, Chapter 3 and 4, like, they're part of the journey, aren't they? They're not the end, but they're part, and that's what makes it so special.
Yeah, it's like, I'd probably say Chapter 8 is probably my second favourite chapter.
That's fair.
But, like, the way that I enjoyed Chapter 3 and the way that I enjoyed Chapter 8 are vastly different. Just because, with Chapter 8 being the end of the game.
Least favourite, it was close. I would nearly have to give it. I nearly thought about giving it to Chapter 6, but I think it's got to be Chapter 2. It is the weakest chapter. Not bad. It's not bad, but it is the weakest chapter. Definitely, I think that's the standout weakest chapter for me.
Okay, so hearing you say you considered giving it to Chapter 6 is logical considering everything we've talked about up until this point.
Yes.
But just to hear you say that is just so fucking wild to me after I spent so long considering it one of the best.
I know, I can imagine that must be like a shock almost. Yeah.
Almost, yeah. It's kind of wild to me for someone to sit here and go, yeah, Chapter 6 is one of the worst in the game. I'm like, what the fuck?
I never thought I'd come to.
But yeah, it's funny because we're here now. But yeah, I do think Chapter 2 is the weakest chapter in the game, which again is not a slight on this chapter.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just there are other chapters that are gooder.
Put it this way, it's the worst chapter in this game, but in a lot of other lesser, be the best chapter, no problem. So to speak. Anyway,
let's jump on a tired gag of the Paper Emblem channel that everyone is bored of hearing because everyone's sick of me talking about this game. But put it this way, I mean, if you put Chapter 2 in Sticker Star, it would be the best part of that game.
It's gonna be Sticker Star. It would blow Sticker Star out of the water. It'd be like an oasis in the desert. One day I actually need to play Sticker Star just so I can actually see what my opinion of it is.
The thing is, Sticker Star is the sort of game that's just like, I don't know. I was about to say I can see why someone would like enjoy it, but I honestly don't. I honestly can't. I can't understand it.
See, I can understand why someone would enjoy it coming to it as as a first Paper Mario game, or maybe I guess a second if they'd only played like Color Splash before, and not any of the others. But I mean, to me, it just everything I've heard about it, it just sounds like such a massive downgrade from this. Like I don't think, like having played this game, I think if I played it, I'd probably think, oh, this is just not even close to being in the same category. You know,
It's like
in terms of quality.
it's like I've described TTYD and Paper Mario 64 before as like the perfect entry level RPGs.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have Sticker Star, which is like baby's first RPG.
Yeah, definitely. That's literally what it is.
Except that it's not easy. So like,
yeah,
it kind of fails at that as well. Because it's got this bullshit stuff where it's like you need these specific things to beat these bosses, otherwise you will not win. It's like, do you want to telegraph? Do you want to telegraph that game? No, you just got to work that out for yourself.
That's honestly, I think that's one of the worst design decisions or flaws in any game. Like it's just
like the final boss, you need like 6 specific thing stickers, and if you don't have them, you are just going to lose.
Yeah.
And the game doesn't tell you about this until you're in that scenario where you need them, and it's just like, what the fuck is this?
Again, that's just like it's just incompetent game design. It's just incompetent.
Anyway, let's stop ragging on Sticker Star because I do it. It always happens. I always say I'm not going to rag on Sticker Star, and then I do it anyway.
You know what? It's infectious. I could rag on it all night, and I've never played the game.
You haven't even played it.
Never even played
it. My word just has that much sway. Yes. So yeah, chapter 2 I think is the weakest chapter.
Yeah.
I just think it's the slowest in a lot of ways, but it's pretty. I mean, look at it. My god, is it pretty? I love it. I can say something good about every part of this game, so don't you worry, chapter 2. You may be my least favourite child, but I still love you. Okay then. Well, moving from the chapters, sort of, but not really. I wanted to touch briefly on boss fights. Now, there's a lot of them, so I don't want to. I don't want to go too much onto this. But I think it'd be fun to talk about boss fights as well, and I have got the list on there.
I've also got the list. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually not looking at the list at the moment, but because I want to see how well I can do with remembering these. Oh, hello. We're doing that now. Okay, so we start off with the boss of the prologue, which is Blooper. Which, now that I think about it, I'm not sure the game technically considers that to be a boss, because I'm pretty sure it plays the mini-boss theme. I mean, it only has 12 HP as well, so it's like... I mean, it's the prologue boss, of course it's not difficult. You don't really have much power at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it this stream, I didn't even think about it as I was playing. So, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's a good... like, it's fun, it's funny. Sets up, it gets you still more familiarised with the combat. Like, it uses, like, having to attack different parts, which is something that it comes back to later in the game, which is really clever.
That's actually very true. I mean, technically the first boss, I guess, is Crump, but that's like a tutorial fight.
Yeah, that's like a proper tutorial fight, isn't it? I wouldn't count that as a boss fight. That's like an extended part of the tutorial, really, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah. So, Blooper's the first like major fight where you can conceivably lose.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
So, yeah, because I think I mentioned in the actual playthrough that you actually physically cannot lose to Crump. Like even if you like got yourself down to 1 HP and he hit you, you just would not die. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Mario refused to die.
So what about chapter 1?
Actually, just before we jump onto chapter 1, because there's one fight I did forget to put on that list, which is the optional fight against Gus in Rogueport. You know, the gatekeeper guy.
Yeah. That's pretty funny, to be fair. I do like when the game is like plays around with its format like that. I like it when games do that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean he's pretty standard. There's not much to him, but yeah, just the fact that you can fight him is quite funny.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly it. It's just fun. Good.
Also, if you lose to him, that is a genuine game over. It's not like, haha, I beat you, run away, coward. It's like, no, you're actually fucking dead.
That's bad.
If you lose that fight.
That is so ridiculous.
But it does also make him one of the few bosses you can run away from. So, there's that.
That's true, that's true.
There's that. Chapter 1, so I believe the first fight there would be the Gold Fuzzy.
Yes.
We're including mini bosses under this as well. So
yeah, it is the Gold Fuzzy.
Yeah, the Gold Fuzzy.
It's
pretty
just
standard.
there. Yeah, it's just there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think again the thing about him is like the Cuba factor from like the Fuzzy Horde. It's just like, oh my god,
true.
what is going on? There's so many things on screen.
It's like that boss in Super Mario Bros. DS World 4, where it's like a small number and the little thing just waddles on screen and then it just expands.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was a kid and genuine, I was doing it with a friend of mine at school, and I just like actually laughed. Like I fully burst out laughing when it came on, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" when it actually grew, and I was like, "It was still pretty
no,
very funny."
Yeah. And then you get the Red Bones, which is like that's actually probably like one of the first like properly threatening fights because he's got a bunch of allies and he can summon more. He has defense, which is wild at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Like that's one of the first enemies, maybe the.
I think it is the first enemy that. No, it's not the first enemy with defense. That would be the Koopas, but like you can knock them over, whereas you can't do that with him.
Definitely. So, that's true.
We'll focus a bit more on the actual bosses, which we'll do with Hooktail, who is one of the most memorable bosses for me.
Oh, definitely. I mean, his dialogue's great. He's like the first proper big occasion, it feels like, as a fight, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, you walk into the room and you look up and Hooktail's looking at you and it's like, oh my god, I'm going to die.
Yeah. You just
also,
feel like, oh, I'm finished. I'm finished.
Yeah, it's like, I'm so
That's
fucked.
what it feels. Yeah.
Also, the little quote-unquote riddle puzzle that isn't really with the badge being the weakness, that's quite cool as well. I like that when you do little things like that.
Yeah, and it's like telegraphed, but it's also you do have to sort of figure it out.
Yeah, and you have to be, and don't be like me and forget to equip it before you walk into the room.
Yes.
That is not a smart thing to do, I must confess.
It is not, no.
Yeah. Also, like when you go up to Gloomtail in Chapter 8, and you mention that you beat Hooktail, and he's like, my little sister, and every single person's reaction who has ever played this game is like, wait. Yeah, every single person who's ever played this game is like, wait, Hooktail was a girl?
It's literally like the reaction of people in very dodgy adverts, like right at the end. Sister! I'm sorry. I had to. I'm going to get put on a list for that. Deservedly. But I had to. Sure what? Yeah. I think it's a great boss battle. It's really just really good.
It is. Oh my god. Moving on from that to the fight that we're doing now, the Shadow Sirens. Which I just want to say, just within the context of the playthrough, what was actually ended up being one of the best fights just for how clutch it ended up being.
That's very true.
Where, like, I only won because of the fucking mystery.
Well, to be fair, I thought it was really good anyway. Like, I guess it's because they're such memorable characters, but like again, it's like a real occasion. And I would say I'd say exactly the same thing for Magnus one before. Like, it's just a really good, solid fight. It feels like special, like an occasion, and it sets up something. You know, it sets up like a boss. Oh, sorry, it sets up like an ongoing character.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus is one of those what the fuck is going on fights as well, where it's just like, what?
Oh, definitely.
What is like? It's like, where, like, it technically comes out of nowhere, but kind of in a good way.
Definitely.
Low-key trying to focus on the fight.
No worries.
Oh, fuck. Do I have the... Okay. That's fine. And again, very, very memorable. I know Magnus is a lot of people's favourite fight. And I'm dead. I have a live stream, so it's all good. I can't believe Vivian killed Mario. What awful timeline did we visit?
This is horrible. What kind of disgusting world have we stumbled into?
Yeah, and Magnus is just his fucking design is incredible. Just look at him and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
What is this?
It's a great design for a robot in a kids game. Like, it's cool, but it's also like not something that
Really
would ever scare. It would never scare a kid, which I know sounds silly, but kids could get scared by that sort of stuff, you know?
Well, it's like Gumbella says, I can't tell if this thing looks really cool or really stupid.
Yes, and that's the best part about it. It's just like the guy who made it. Just like Lord Crumb. Just like Lord Crumb, pretty much. I don't know if he's really cool or really stupid.
He's definitely really stupid. And then I get cancelled by the Lord Crumb stands.
Crumb stands rise up on Twitter just to cancel Paper for his opinions.
On to Chapter 3, which gives us the Iron Harriers. Or the Iron Adonis twins, whatever you want to call them.
Oh yeah.
The big
big
the big blue spiky boys that I got stuck on as a kid because I didn't think to use the new partner that I just got. I told the story already.
Yeah, no, I remember. But that's still quite funny.
It is a funny story, to be fair.
Again,
I look back on it now and laugh.
I like the Iron Harriers. I think they're funny little, in terms of like the context being like, oh, these guys are big, bad, that sort of thing. Apart from that, I don't have anything to say about the Chapter 3 bosses besides that the other three are all excellent. They're all amazing. Then they're all genuinely brilliant. Rourke is just classic.
Yep.
Yeah, Rourke's classic. Bowser is a great fight. All the fights with Bowser in this game are great. And Macho Grubber is Macho Grubber. He just slaps. The whole fight just absolutely slaps. The music's brilliant. It's like genuinely challenging, but not like horrible difficulty curve way. It's a perfect amount of difficulty increase, I think. Anyway,
I will say that I think Macho Grubber is the biggest difficulty jump in the game because I stand by the fact that
I would agree with that. Yeah,
I don't think there's any getting around the fact that for some reason the Chapter 3 boss is more difficult than the Chapter 4 boss.
Yeah, and again, I don't really know why that is.
But I don't think. But he's not unfair. He's just a step up anything else you've fought to that point.
Absolutely.
So yeah, take what you can get with that. But it's such a varied fight as well. There's so much going on there.
Oh, definitely.
So that's fair enough. I can't believe I'm like halfway through Chapter 2. What the fuck is this? Chapter 4 boss fights, which are composed of, first of all, Atomic Bow.
Yeah.
Which is a cool little optional mini-boss.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way they work. I guess I like optional mini-boss. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of have to go out of your way for it as well, which is interesting. Kind of difficult to stumble across, to be fair, but I guess that's just the time this game was released in, to be fair. And then you've got both the fight against Dupliss, or question mark, as he was named at the time.
Yeah.
And then also the fight against, like, Mario, Dupliss, and the partners. Which I, in a way, sort of combine into one. Because by themselves, both fights are very easy.
Yeah, no, they are. That's true. I mean, but, like, again, it works better because it's, it's like linked up in that way. Like the story, the way it's done in the story gives it a lot more impact than it would have as just a normal boss fight. But that's okay because it's earned. Like they've done it in such a clever way that they've earned that almost that extra impact that it has, even though it's two very easy boss fights. You know.
It's true. It's true. Good night, Lily. Thanks for coming to the stream. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.
Good night, Lily. Have a good night.
Yeah. But yeah, as for Dupless, and like there is an easy fix to where just make it so you have to fight the partners as well. Second fight. And there you go. You've got a pretty decent boss fight on your hands then.
Yeah, I was about to say. I that's why I was sort. Oh, I swear it was actually fairly challenging, but no, that makes sense now. Yeah, because I remember that's what we did.
Yeah, that's what we did. Because like you could just knock out Dupless in a couple of turns and call it a day.
Yeah.
But I like to fight the partners just because it adds a little something to the fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then that brings us on to Chapter 5, which weirdly enough, I believe the first boss fight in Chapter 5 is Cortez. Like, there's no mini-boss before him, unless you count
It is. No, it is.
Because, like, there's some, like, event battles against some, like, embers. But those are normal enemies, they're definitely not bosses. And then there's, like, some bullet bill blasters, but again, I don't really consider those bosses.
Yeah, so, I mean, I wouldn't either. They're just harder enemies. They're not bosses. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, because like I mean, if I had to consider them bosses, then arguably you'd also consider the Ballkeeper bombs bosses, but they're definitely not bosses. So yeah,
exactly. It just creates too much of an issue.
So yeah, the first boss of that would be Cortez, who is one of the most. I think it's one of the most well thought out fights in the game.
Yeah, I love Cortez. As a boss, brilliant. I love him as a character as well, but as a boss, he's particularly good.
He's got 3 phases. He's got the right balance of difficulty. None of the phases outstay their welcome. They're all different enough. And the secret entrance is labelled secret entrance. I love it.
I forget about that as well. I forget about that every time.
That's one of my favourite jokes in the game because it's the perfect brick joke. You know where they set it up and then the punchline doesn't come for ages?
Yeah, yeah.
To the point where when you get to the yeah, because it's like the joke where once you get to the punchline, you might have forgotten that the setup even happened, and then you're like, "Oh my god,
what the hell is it?"
So yeah, Cortez, super good. And then followed up with the Lord Crump fight on the boat.
Yeah.
Which I'm interested. I want to hear what you think of that fight. I don't know why this fight in particular, but I thought it was
really good just because the whole set piece around it really gave it something a bit extra. I remember really enjoying it.
The set piece definitely adds a little something to it.
Yes.
I think if it didn't have that set piece, it would be kind of there.
Yeah.
But the set piece completely makes the fight so.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no issues with it. Also, the fact that he fucking cheats, gets down to 0 HP, and then walks off stage and just heals himself. He's like, yeah, I fucked the rules.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then it was also like it doesn't make the really unwinnable, so it's just like, yeah, this is a Crump thing. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, he only does it the one time anyway, and that's how you transition into his third phase, so...
Yeah, which is fair enough. I think it's funny. It's genuinely pretty funny.
Chapter 6. I mean, if we think it's weird that Chapter 5 only had 2 boss fights, Chapter 6 only has the one. Which is Smorg.
I actually like Smorg.
Smorg's like genuinely just really difficult if you're not prepared.
Yeah, but also it's like creative and it's actually a satisfying resolution. It almost brings the chapter up as a whole, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, if I recall correctly in the playthrough, I actually like... Smorg was, other than the final boss, the point where I came closest to dying.
I remember that, yep. No, I can back you up on that. It got
like it got to a point where like I was showing off the boss like I was doing, and then we reached suddenly like it like attacked once, and it was like, oh, I need to end the fight now.
Yes. If I do not end the fight, I will be ended my. You know what? Can I make that unrelated?
I must enter the fight, or I will end my life.
Exactly. Can I make an unrelated point?
Go on.
It's a gaming point. So I was watching back some of the bosses from New Super Mario Bros. DS, and my god, they're pathetic. Like, most of the videos of them are like less than a minute long. Do you know what the worst thing is? The worst thing is that they're so blandly designed. Like, I'm watching the Bowser Jr. fight, which is the second fight in the whole. And literally all he does is run at you, go in his shell, throw a green shell. There's like nothing to it. It's just shit. It's just shit.
Isn't one of them just a very big Goomba?
Yeah, but that's like funny because at least like you don't expect it. One of them is just a Lakitu who does literally every normal Lakitu attack and has something. But you can beat him in like 3 hits.
Oh yeah.
One of them's a Monty Tank, but you know how he like fires a really low rocket? You just literally go and duck and you. It's like, how is this a boss fight? It's embarrassing.
It just is. We had no faith in the 2005 gamers.
Evidently not. Also, Bowser Jr. throwing his own father's decomposed bones into a cauldron so he can actually have some life, and then you beat him in a minute. Now.
Oh yeah, sad, I forgot that happened.
Yeah. Do you know what was a great boss though? The one where you think you've beaten him and then he turns into a giant Bowser and you have like a big set piece chase. I love that one.
I think that was in Wii.
Yeah, that was Wii. I was saying in DS.
Yeah.
It's literally just that without the set piece afterwards, and you disgusting waste of the life of a son doing the same thing as he did in the other boss fight. It's literally the same. I swear to God, it's literally the same. The bosses in this game are shit. They're so
Majima rages about the bosses in the game that came out 16 years ago.
fully, but it's deserved. The bosses are ass. The game is good. I like the.
Oh, it's a really good game.
Yes, it's a great Mario game. It's also at that point before they. What's the word? It's at that point, yeah, but before they made New Super Mario every year, like it's a FIFA game.
Well, I mean, it reached that point where we got New Super Mario Bros. 2 and U in the same year, like 2 months apart.
Yeah, it's like you can't call it new anymore. It's not.
Yeah, it's true. Coming back to TTYD then.
Yeah.
So we did we speak about Smorg? We did speak about Smorg. Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Chapter 7. Yeah, it's just Magnus 2.0. Man, they really ramp. Like, they really. It's weird. It's weird. They really lower the number of boss fights in the last few chapters, and then go ham in Chapter 8.
So in Chapter 6, they are. Okay, I don't know if this is how you put it because I don't know anything about this board, but they've like reduced the amount they're batting, but their batting average is better. If that makes sense, because like there's only 2 bosses in both chapters, and yet they're both 2 of the best bosses in the whole game.
Yeah.
Quality over quantity, I guess.
It's true. Speaking of which, Magnus 2.0 is a really good fight. A really good fight.
It's one of the best in the game, genuinely.
Easily. And he has the single best attack in the game, which is the audience cannon.
Oh yeah, what was that where he like sucks them up in the air cannon?
And then he fucking shoots them at you?
Yeah, that's mad. Let's be fair, as horrible as it was, I think it was Tucktail who like fucking scrans the.
Oh yeah, she eats them.
Which is
how she heals.
I love how I actually have to consider it. Yes, I need Hooktail she now.
Hang on, you're cutting out a bit there.
Oh no worries, I was just saying I love how I actually have to, like it just hit my brain like yes, tail is Hooktail she.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, everyone gets confused by that at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
We did call
also-
her Hooktail, but that doesn't mean I'm going to misgender her.
exactly. Cortez also eats the audience.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
That's just a thing in
That's
this
a
game
good
for some
point.
reason.
People love scrambling the audience, apparently.
It's apparently a thing that they do.
It seems so.
It would seem to be the case.
It seemed to be that way.
Yeah, so I mean, Magnus gets 1,000,000 points just for the audience canon because it's just like so fucking stupid and ridiculous, and I love it.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous, but it's so on for him that it works. It like completely
Yes.
works.
It fits the game and it fits the character, so I'm cool with it.
Yes.
And then we move on to chapter 8, which is just boss fight central.
Mm.
Starting off with Gloomtail is the first one. Have I got that right?
Yes, I do believe you have. Yeah, you have.
I mean, for the most part, Gloomtail is just stronger Hooktail.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things that make him interesting. Like he's got the poison, he's got the charge on the Mega Breath. He's got a few points going for him that makes him distinct enough.
And again, I don't. Yeah, I guess again, I'm biased because it's a trope I like. But I like that they brought back boss from the very beginning and just made it like harder, but it's still actually like a challenge and difficult. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, Gloomtail is definitely not a pushover. You want to be careful. You want to be careful with them. And then you fight the Shadow Sirens and Dupless almost immediately after that.
Yes, that's right.
Like you do the Riddle Tower and then you fight the Shadow Sirens and Dupless, which is again also quite a tough fight. There's kind of a theme in chapter 8. It's almost like it's the end of the game.
Could you believe it? Again, I think it's a great battle. A lot of it is because of similar reasons to Gloom's. Obviously, they're better characters, and you're more motivated to beat them because they've been there for the whole game, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I think a lot of it is just the same concept of it just bringing back characters from earlier in the game and making them more difficult to like show how far you've come and like show how the game is like really ramping up at this point. I just really like it, and I think that it's a fun fight. The dialogue's good as well. Yeah.
Plus all the stuff with Vivian as well just adds to it.
Yeah, definitely. That brings it up. Yeah, that brings it up a notch by itself. That brings it up to an extra gear, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which is why I always use Vivian in that fight. Even if it's inadvertent sometimes, but I always end up doing it one way or another.
That's good. That's how it should be.
We then get onto our little
Ought to be canon.
onto our little boss rush because the next fight is Grodus, who I think is one of the most unique and interesting fights of the game.
Yeah, definitely. I can't remember a lot of details, but I remember it.
Because like you can attack his magic wand
Yeah.
that can like gives him a chance of perhaps missing next turn.
Yeah, that's right. And you also have to attack his shield minions. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, the X's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like he has, like he's not really along the same lines as any other fight in the game. So he's a bit more memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of aspects.
And also, I guess it's because he is almost the main villain in himself, you know.
Yeah. I mean, not really. Almost. He is like the main antagonist of the game. He's just not. He's just not the final boss.
Yeah. That says a lot, doesn't it? Like, the Shadow Queen appears for so little time, and yet makes such a huge impact. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive. I suppose when we think about it like that.
Yeah.
So immediately following on from Grodus is Bowser and Kammy Cooper, which, despite being in actually quite a bugged fight, like Cammy's AI for that fight is completely fucked.
Yeah.
Um,
It doesn't
I
really
still
do
think
much, does it?
it might be my favorite. It might be one of my favorite fights in the game. Well, because what it is that there's the coding for that fight. Like Cammy has this complex set of AI instructions on what buffs she should use in any given scenario. So based on all the different aspects of the fight, there's a bunch of different coding to tell her what she should do on her turn. And then the
Yeah.
very next line of next line of code says to ignore all of that and to heal.
What bizarre.
It's so weird.
That's weird. That's really odd.
I know. It's one of the most bizarre things in this game. And this game has a lot of bizarre things going on, I will admit.
Oh yeah.
But I still enjoy the fight. The music absolutely slaps.
Yeah.
You're fighting Bowser, you can't complain.
I like how it's like a tribute to Bowser. Like it's letting him have his moment even when he's involved in the story. In like a meaningful way, but like it's almost like it still does him a lot of justice, which is I really like that.
Do you know what? I'm thinking about it now, and it's never really I've never really thought about it. But he genuinely doesn't appear again after that.
No, he doesn't. No,
Like you don't even see him like wallowing in his misery. It's like, oh, I failed, and I'm heading back to my kingdom.
Because I
He
think
just
really
doesn't fucking show up again.
That's the thing. It's not about him, but they let him have his moment, and it was like fun and deserved. They used Bowser perfectly in that game, as far as I'm concerned. They couldn't have done a better job.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite
version of Bowser.
Version of Bowser, like him in like between this game, Super, and the early Mario and Luigi's, but very specifically Bowser's Inside Story, is like peak Bowser.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. I hadn't even thought of it like that, but I also just like he gets his moments. He's very funny. He's entertaining. He gets to shine, but he's not like ham-fisted. They don't throw him in at the end or whatever because he's Bowser for him to do something big. It doesn't interfere with the main story.
Oops, sorry, did I say the thing again?
It was quite funny, to be honest. I wish I knew exactly what you meant in terms of like how it happens, but it's still.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the fact how Bowser's the main villain in Sticker Star, but doesn't have a single line of dialogue.
Really?
He doesn't say a single word in that game.
How on earth could they have thought that was a good idea?
I don't know.
That's
but it was shit. I can tell you it was shit. It was fucking awful. And people wonder why I don't like this game. It literally butchered one of my all-time favourite characters.
That's an easy way to do it.
Oh yeah, a casual reminder that this is the one room where the Punies have good AI for some reason.
Oh yeah.
And then the final boss, Shadow Queen. I mean,
just incredible.
It's so good. It's so good. It's challenging. It's threatening. It's ominous. It's, for a kid, quite scary. Probably. I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was ominous as an adult. Like, as a kid, that would have frightened the crap out of me. I wouldn't have played the game again for like 3 months.
Yeah, and in the series, at least, we got a proper fight out of it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it felt like an achievement when we got to the end of that fight, so couldn't have ended on a better note, really, when we look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I don't think they could have done it any better, which is just, like, I never thought I'd say that about a piece of media or a video game. There we are. I'm like, usually I give out, like, whatever improvements I think, but I genuinely just can't think of anything. So it was so well done.
Yeah, fucking brilliant, by the way, in my humblest of opinions. Gonna throw the question out there. If you don't have an answer, that's cool. But if I had to ask you to tell me your favourite boss fight off the top of your head, do you think you could give me one?
I think I'd have to say Shadow Queen. It's just such
That's
a
fair.
perfect finale, to be honest.
That's absolutely fair enough. I can't criticise that selection at all.
Nice.
I think for me it's either Bowser and Cammy or Rule Cork. But that might just be my chapter 3 bias talking.
It's fair enough, yeah. I think it's fair. Yeah, Raw Cork is one of the most iconic parts.
Yeah, he's like the one part of this game that everyone really knows. For whatever reason. I mean, for whatever reason being that he's fucking amazing. But, you get my point. Flurry, no! And my colleague has been silenced again. Oh, he's back.
Not like that. Again. What's happening with
He's
this?
back. It's funny, as soon as I mention it, I don't think it's the mic, I think it's just Discord cutting out.
Probably.
It just happens, we just have to deal with it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think after that, if I have a look at the list, that just leaves us with a single topic left. Yes, it does. I'm now intrigued to see if I can finish the chapter before the discussion ends. So, our last topic of conversation, and then I think we'll be ready to wrap it up because both my voice is killing me, and I also do have to work in the morning, so I can't be up forever. But it's also the last topic of conversation that I had listed on the thing, so you know, clearly we've done well. You know, this bloody hell, this stream's nearly 3 hours.
I know.
So clearly,
it's been a very nice 3 hours. It's not dragging at all.
No, we've actually had a lot more to talk about than I thought we would. I thought this would be like maybe an hour, and then we call it there. But no, we've actually had a lot to discuss, which I'm pleased. I'm pleased that we have stuff to say about one of my favourite games. Feel like I haven't wasted my life. So, yeah, the partners was the last matter I wanted to discuss. And I'm going to skip over... am I going to skip over one partner at one point, or should I just go for it? I think we should just go through it, to be fair. Let's just
why not?
Let's do it. So, we'll just go through them in order. So, first up is Gumbella.
Oh, great, yeah. Might actually be the best partner, but... I mean, just because, like, she gets so much development and, like, story-related stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps that she's the first party member. So for a good little while, she's like omnipresent. But then also because, or at least I in particular, I mean, I'm not doing it at the moment in this particular stream because I'm not. This isn't a proper playthrough. This is just me playing it in the background. But normally I would tattle everything, so she's always there.
Yeah, that's a good.
You always get to hear from her, so because of the tattles, you get a lot more of her personality coming through.
Yeah, she almost feels like a main character, just in a funny sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically like the voice of the party in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's true.
And because Mario doesn't talk, that technically makes her like the protagonist in a weird roundabout fashion. I mean, there's also the fact that at the end of the game, she's the one that sends the email to Mario with the whole "What are they doing now?" thing. So she does, in a way, feel like she's the most important.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Definitely.
But yeah, love Gumbella, great partner.
And then we move on.
One of the ones I get the most use out of in combat as well. Yep. Next on, it's Scouse Cooper Trooper. It's Wayne Rooney's scaled cousin.
Will I remember the name? Wayne Coops? Yeah,
It's
Coops
Coops.
is amazing.
I mean, Coops is a favourite on the stream.
I think it's for good reason though. He is
we all
genuinely.
we all love him. He is the emote. He is the hey emote. Couldn't have been anyone else. It had to be Coops.
He's just like that likable, scrappy kind of really personable underdog character, but like done so well. Like they don't do it in a ham-fisted way, which is really, really good.
Yeah, he's the whole underdog. You feel sorry for him, but it doesn't feel annoying.
Yeah, and he doesn't feel like pitiful or weak or anything like that. Like you feel for him, but he's like, what's the word? Like you feel for him, but he's like got a lot of strength. Like he's not just like he doesn't exist just for you to feel sorry for him. That's not all there is to him.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense.
Nice. Good.
I think you did a good job of explaining your full process.
Good.
Which is good, because that was the aim.
That's always what I'm aiming for. It is true. It is true. So, is it next Flurry?
Flurry is next, yes.
No. Now Flurry is like, she's the sort of character I usually wouldn't like. She is kind of built around a certain personality trait, but I don't know. She's just really likable in a funny sort of way. I don't know why. Like, I do like Flurry a lot. She's definitely not one of the best, but I do like her a lot as a partner. I thought she was genuinely very good.
Yeah, I mean, Flurry is my least favourite partner, question mark?
Really? Huh?
Definitely amongst the required party members, she was my least favourite. However, this playthrough has actually allowed her to go up in my estimation. She's a lot more useful in combat than I used to think she was. Gale Force is actually a pretty decent move. And we got to see a little bit more of her during these streams. So I have a newfound appreciation of her. Again, I don't dislike her. I don't dislike any of the partners. In the same way that I don't dislike any of the chapters. But she's just, you know, when I'm thinking about, oh, I'm gonna have a partner with me, who do I want to pick? I don't pick Flurry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't.
I'll pick like a Gumbella or a Coops or you know, someone like that.
It's fair.
Instead,
that's completely fair. No, I'm just saying I would not pick Flurry for that because there's some that are very clear of her in terms of like quality.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not that Flurry's bad; it's that just some of the other partners are better.
Yeah.
Next up is the Yoshi Kid. What did we name the Yoshi Kid?
What do we name him? Shit.
I actually don't remember what we named him. It's only been a month.
David Yoshi after David Bowie because he's got this. That's not what we called him.
Yes, that's definitely what we called him.
It's not what we called him. I just made that up. I put that on my backside.
We picked a really stupid name for him, I know. I might see if I can actually just have a quick look and see. Because that's actually really bothering me. Get the things. Let's have a butcher's to see if I can find his name. Oh, yeah, of course, we called him Austin.
Oh, of course we did. Can't believe I forgot that. That makes me like him a little more, although I would still say he ranks a bit lower, because again, he feels quite like, I mean, maybe one note's a bit harsh, like he's got some good dialogue, a lot to him. Like his character is kind of being like the scrappy, like a scrappy dude type character, but obviously nowhere near as toxic and annoying. Yeah, nowhere near as annoying. Not even close.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, I think if you take a look at it from like a purely technical, like almost like a speedrunner or challenge runner view, he's the best partner.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, I guess again that does help raise him.
Gameplay wise, either him or Gambella would be the two I know that are the choice of challenge runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think he's definitely up there because he just hits so hard, but he isn't like he's not like pitifully easy if you upgrade him to take down. You know.
Well, what it is like he has the multi attack, which is kind of weak by itself, but when you combine it with power raising stats, it suddenly becomes very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's why he's considered arguably the best partner in the game. Yeah, I mean, from a character perspective, again, he's quite nice, he's quite likable.
Yeah, he's not unlikable at all. He's pretty good.
But he doesn't, for the most part, he doesn't quite have the development that some of the other characters does. Like all of his development comes in the epilogue. Where,
yeah.
Actually, although fun fact about the Yoshi kid that I'll actually point in now is that his whole thing is that he calls Mario Gonzalez for the whole game.
Yeah, that's
because that's what you knew him as when he was first born.
I like that.
And then, no, absolutely, it's a good thing. And then in the ending, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got to start calling you Mario because that's actually your name."
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be the first time that he calls him Mario. However, there are a handful of moments in the game where I guess they just overlooked it. And they have him refer to Mario if he's the active partner at that time. It's all in scenes where he's not guaranteed to be on screen, so you could feasibly miss them all.
Yeah.
But sometimes he does.
Thing, isn't it?
Like there's just a couple that slip through the cracks.
Yeah,
just a couple that slip through the cracks, which is fine. The one I know off the top of my head is when you search in Grubber's desk and find the secret papers about the machine.
Yeah.
I know he says Mario in that scene if he's the active partner. So I think if I remember correctly,
pretty impressive that you know it. To be fair, that's pretty cool, honestly.
So I actually made a deliberate effort for that scene in particular to make sure he wasn't the active partner at the time.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't told me, because I'm pretty sure we never triggered that. Or if we did, I never noticed it, which is definitely a possibility.
I wanted to try and avoid it so that when it happened in the ending, it would actually be the first time we'd seen it happen. So that was pretty cool. We then move on to Vivian.
Clear, best partner in the game. Easy. Just the best. Like Kooks is a fairly close second, considering, but no, Vivian's the best.
Agreed. I just adore Vivian so much. She's easily my favourite character in the game.
Yeah, the fact that Nintendo hasn't released Vivian merch. Also, they should have put her in Smash Bros.
A fucking crime.
It is a crime. They should have put her in Smash Bros. It's hyperbole, but I still believe it.
We got a spirit for her at least.
Yeah, true. But wait a minute.
But that's not
people asking for Gino to be put in. There are people asking for Gino to be put in Smash Bros. But not what? Like, how?
I like guys. I like Majima. He has the right thought process. He's a good egg.
I finally found out. Paper finally told me. After spending all this time with me, he does in fact like me. I can't believe it. Jokes aside, I thought that you would be quite happy with that, but I still do believe it. Like, I mean, even from what I've seen of Gino, like, yeah, his design's kind of cool, but doesn't really have a lot of a character. Like, there's not a lot.
He
to him.
has like no personality.
Yeah,
He is quite. It's funny because he's a puppet and he feels like one.
so that's what they were going for. I was gonna say actually, what was I was gonna say like, I feel like they went for the stoic, like tough guy kind of partner, but they got it wrong, and it just means he ends up being quite dull.
I feel like it's deliberate that he has no personality, but like I don't know, I don't care about him.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, if someone has no personality, unless you're making fun of them, it's like yeah, you feel like using it for comedy, pretty hard to care, you know. Like it's kind of the negative of having no personality.
It's kind of the issue with it, yeah.
Kind of the problem.
Do you know what I do care about though?
What?
I do care about Vivian.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Hashtag best girl.
Unironically, Vivian is. She's just so likable. I don't know how I did it, but she is so likable.
You know how like you have some people who are like if a dog like if they don't like dogs, then you don't trust them.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't like Vivian, you're capping. You're just cap. You're like a walking cap. You know.
Yeah, like if you don't like Vivian, I'm sorry, like we can't be in the same room. It's just a law of nature. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Exactly. You're not capping.
Just, I don't.
You are just. Cap.
I don't.
You're just cap.
I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Actually, it's just.
Can I speak on a very cute thing that happened today? Because I was I'd like done a FaceTime with my family, and the dog was there, and like at one point she just walked over the phone without noticing, and I just saw her little face, like, and she just walked off, and I just like saw her little sausage body just keep walking right, and she just walked off the frame, and then at other times she would just like come and like sniff the camera, and she was just like right in, and she was just like, I miss that dog, man. I'll be seeing her this weekend, but still, I miss it. I miss it.
We've just had our photo with Holston.
We have, yeah. Let's get back to roasting
Thank you.
any companions we don't like.
Thank you for fulfilling the wholesome quota, because Lord knows I never fulfill it myself. You got a super boots, let's go.
Oh, you know, every now and again I have my wholesome, decent moments.
Only occasionally.
True.
But sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it happens every now and again, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I can't believe how good of a job this game does of making you just feel for Vivian.
Oh yeah.
She gets absolutely shat on for like the first half of the game, and it's just like
she
no,
just
stop
comes
it.
back and wrecks everyone's shit. And she just comes back and wrecks everyone's shit. And the thing is, it's like they do such a good job of like allowing between not making her feel able to stand up to her sisters, but she never feels like mindless or weak. You know. She just feels like her sisters are so toxic that she's like adapted to it, and then she just gets to fucking destroy them, which is so satisfying. It's so
it's like when you first meet her, she's just like stuck in her coping mechanisms.
Yes.
And then Mario's just like, no, what you got to do is you got to beat the shit out of them.
And then Vivian just destroys them.
And then life became better.
Yeah, like I'm honestly, I mean, I admire the price they don't make you use for like the last battle with the Shadow Sirens, because it just fits, like it just feels right. And
yeah,
like
I always use her.
I also always good a job they did of it, you know.
I also always end up using her in the final boss as well. So, Vivian, I love Vivian. She's definitely far and away my favourite partner.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you disagree, you're wrong. Sorry, I do make the rules on this one. But speaking of partners that are good, let's talk about Bobbery. Because
he's great. Bobbery is fantastic.
Why is his backstory so heartbreaking?
It's true, like it makes you feel for him. I guess the only criticism is they never really bring it up, which does kind of suck. But if you see what I mean, like they don't really.
he does mention it a little bit in the final chapter if he's the active partner, and he does mention it again in the credits. Not the credits, like the
yeah, I
epilogue.
guess that's true. No, I hadn't really thought of that, but it's a very good point.
But I mean, there's not much of a reason to bring it up because, like, I mean, it does sort of all resolve in chapter 5.
I guess it's resolved, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to drag up his fucking heartbreak again because he now adds over it as he could possibly be expected to be.
Yeah, he's like recovered quite well from it.
Yeah. Oh, you motherfucker. Get in the fucking hole. So yeah, Bobbery's good. I don't use him a lot in combat. It has to be said. But definitely as a character, I really like Bobbery.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, even in combat, he's not by any means dreadful. He's just not as good as some of the other partners.
Yeah.
But I'd say at the end of the day, like, that makes him good by itself, just because he's so good as a character. Like that's the most important thing, more so than being good in combat, I would say anyway.
Yeah, because like arguably, like Vivian isn't the best partner in combat. You know, you can make arguments that, you know, Yoshi Kid's better in combat, Gumbella's better in combat. You could argue that Koops is better in combat.
Yeah, probably, and you
But
probably
because
have a decent shot at being right.
yeah, I mean, but because Vivian's my favourite partner as a character, I'm more inclined to use her as the like in battle.
It's like Andy Tate once said, "You don't care. I see you, Vivian. I just don't care." And you give it Vivsy till the end of the season.
Incredible.
I did.
Man's just meme life. Yeah, I did
go.
damage now. I'm actually kind of sad that by the end of this stream I'm going to be a quarter of the way through the game and I can't save it.
That is kind of sad. I mean, I presume you can't just like put the thing in, the memory card.
Probably not because I've saved it in slot 1. Which would have like stuff in it anyway. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not going back to the save file anyway. It's just a
That's fair enough.
lol. Look how fast I can go through the game whilst we're talking about random shit.
You probably have it done in like 15 hours ish, which is ridiculous.
Do you know what is absolutely mad though? Like, if we compare this to the playthrough, we were like either still in the prologue or early on in chapter 1 after this amount of time. Like, we've just gone past 3 hours. And
That's
I'm about to
crazy.
finish chapter 2.
That's kind of crazy. That is mad.
But there you go. And then to finish off the partner debate, we are left with Miss Mouse, the optional partner.
I was going to say, actually, I feel like a lot of it is depends on your opinion of Flurry. Basic worse, in my opinion. It's like there's not as much to her, and her whole gimmick is being flirtatious. Pretty much. Which I think she's fine. There's just nothing to her, like, she's likeable. Again, probably because I like Flurry, so similar character I was always going to like, you know?
When I said that Flurry might be my least favourite partner, the might in that equation was Miss Mouse. Because she's not a particularly interesting character, and she's probably the least useful in combat.
Yeah.
Like, I would only ever really use her for Kiss Thief. But other than that,
Kiss
don't
Thief
really
is
care.
fairly useful, isn't it?
I mean, it's just to steal items and badges that enemies have, which, to be fair, they don't usually have that often.
It's true.
And even then, when we tried to do it in the playthrough, it never fucking worked.
It never did.
So, work that one out, scientists.
Indeed. Work that shit out. Work that shit out.
And with that, I think we've actually covered all of the topics that we wanted to address.
Just about everything.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, I'm basically at the end of chapter 2, so what do you say we go until we hit the end of the chapter? And then we can call it there for the stream.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
So with that in mind then, if you wanted to like, get any last points in?
Nothing really. Just there should be Vivian merch, the t-shirt. She should be in Smash. She would actually be really interesting in Smash because she does have some very unique. Like imagine her like dodge anime being like, popping into the ground, you know.
Oh, that could be her spot dodge.
That could be her spot dodge, yeah.
She just like she uses Veil and just goes into the ground for her spot dodge. That'd be sick.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, I want Vivian in Smash now. Why have you done this to me?
There's not even any chance as well, bro.
It would literally never happen. Fuck you.
No,
why have you done this to me?
Oh no. Tell you what though, can we talk about the Smash DLC characters?
We can. I don't know if that'd be better saved for another stream, but we can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Why not?
So.
Let's go. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, why not then? Okay.
So we can have a brief discussion of it now. We haven't got long left anyway.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. But no, that sounds perfectly good to me. So should we start from the beginning?
Sure, let's go. Let's do like quick fire thoughts on Smash DLC.
Yeah, let's go. So Joker, I like it. I like it. At first, I was kind of like, oh, a bit like it's not like as much a part of gaming history, but it kind of is. And also, he's a cool character, and it's cool to see Persona representation. I probably would have preferred you, Narukami, but it's really just like they all deserve to be in there.
Joker,
you know?
I mean,
like
Joker makes more sense in the terms of the fact that like Persona 5 is the most popular game in the series. Got a cool aesthetic going on.
Yeah, it does probably make more sense. I'm just biased because I love you, Narukami.
Oh, thanks.
Any you G's out there have watched Persona?
I need to watch. I need to watch the
animation.
I need to watch the anime.
Yeah, I'm literally. Most of it is because I mean the game is also very good, but like most of it is because of the animation. He's so funny in it. It's genuinely hilarious how good he actually is in that animation.
Right, we better speed up. DLC talk.
We need to speed up. So
Hero,
isn't it? I like it. Again, I think Dragon Quest deserves to be in there. It's like it makes sense because it's a property that was pretty relevant at the time. I think it's good.
I mean, Dragon Quest is like one of the most popular things.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So like,
I mean,
it had to
it's popular worldwide as well. It's popular worldwide as well.
But like, no, but like in Japan. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah,
but in Japan, Japan's a different level. Like we're talking about. Yeah. We're talking about the fact that when Dragon Quest 3 came out in Japan, so many people just skipped work that day to play it that it caused a noticeable, like, depression in their economy.
That's mad. Yeah, no, I agree. I think a lot of that is because the guy who popular, maybe the most popular artist in Japan in like 50 years, Toriyama, who did Dragon Ball Z art as well, and Dragon Ball. Sorry. So who's the next one again?
Next up was Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never really played Banjo Kazooie, but it's so lovely that people. I mean, for like you and loads of other people who really wanted it, you know, like who really love that game. Rightfully so, because it is a classic.
I still remember when, because it was me and you and Voice Cole watching that E3 presentation.
Yeah.
And it's like by this point, I'd given up on Banjo ever being in Smash. So you just got the pure, unfiltered reaction the complete shock that I had when that happened.
Yeah.
I genuinely
I,
could not believe
I
it.
remember, like that was like your mankind winning the title on pop, you know, like that was the level. I almost half expected like when Banjo Kazooie came up to hear Michael Cole in the background. What? Just goes going nuts.
Because if I remember correctly, in the trailer, like the jiggy like bounces across the screen, and like I didn't like. I saw it, but I refused to believe that's what it was. So I was like, "What was that?" And you were like, "Oh my god, I know what it is."
Yeah,
I was like, no, don't give me hope. It's not going to be that. And then it was.
I just remember you going absolutely nuts, and it was like, I was so happy, even though it didn't like mean anywhere near as much to me. But I was like so happy for you.
Yeah, and then they came out, and they were really bad players.
What, like, just because they were janky, or they just weren't very good?
They're not very fun to play as.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're like so they're just heavy. They just feel really heavy. Who's next?
Then was Mr. Are You Okay? Sorry about that.
Yeah, again, I actually love that. Probably because I was going through a bit of a final fight like thing. I mean, I still think Final Fight is very sick, but I think it's just so like respectful to pay like that tribute to a huge fighting game icon. And again, it's just such a massive storied series. I think it's just really cool, and he's very cool in the game. The way they actually like translated his mechanics into the game was brilliant as well. You know, I think it was great. I really liked it. To be honest.
I will fully confess that when he was first announced, I actually had no idea who he was.
That's fair
I
enough.
knew, and like in a weird way, I didn't know Fatal Fury, but I did know King of Fighters. So
yeah, fair enough. No, fair enough. I found out about King of Fighters before. Honestly, like, genuinely.
Yeah. One of the was probably one of the editions I was the least hyped for, but like I actually do like playing as him, and I find his funny shouting man stuff.
Yeah.
So
definitely. I think a lot of it is that's one that gets that's one that like if you weren't hyped for it at the start, it got better as it went along, because then you saw like the love that people had for it, and and he became a meme as well. Like, he became a funny kid, which is always helped. I have a side question. How did you react when Snake was announced for Brawl?
Brawl.
Yeah.
I don't remember the announcements for Brawl, and by the time that game came out, I didn't know what Metal Gear was.
Fair enough. Well, okay, fair enough.
I didn't play Metal Gear until probably around like at least 2010.
Fair play. That's fair. Fair enough. I can't imagine how you would have.
You gotta remember when Brawl came out. I was like 7.
It's true. I forget how old that game actually is. It's like 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
That game came out 2007.
So at that point, my gaming library consisted of Mario and Sonic, and that was like it.
I mean, to be honest, that's most people that age. Pretty sure I was the same. I thought Sonic Unleashed was the coolest shit ever.
Let's do quick fire on the rest of the DLC in like a sentence or less.
Okay.
Byleth.
Very cool. Great addition. Great in game. Pays more tribute to Fire Emblem. Maybe more is needed. Very good.
Yep, I love Byleth as an addition in Smash. Also one of the most fun Fire Emblem reps to play as. One of the most fun characters in the entire game to play as.
Oh yeah.
Min.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, because just like Arms is not like Smash is meant to pay tribute to like gaming hit. Harsh, but Arms is not gaming. Never really was. And just like not a particularly interesting character anyway. Nowhere near as big as a lot of the other names, so I would have replaced Min Min with someone else. I would have replaced Min Min with like Dante or Travis, to be honest.
Okay. I was quite happy to see an ARMS rep, but I hate how she plays, and I would have picked a different character from the series. So
that's fair enough.
There's that. Steve. I'm not going to comment because we've been over Steve before on my side.
I mean, I get it from the side of it. It's gaming history, and I think it's fun. I still, to this day, it's really funny. But I'm not totally sure because it does feel a bit like they bowed to like the meme pressure and like Twitter and stuff for that one, you know. But maybe they didn't. I could be. I don't know. Who's next? Who's next?
Sephiroth.
Amazing, perfect.
Amazing pick.
Probably long.
Amazing pick, and I predicted it. Holy shit! I actually got a prediction right for Smash. Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
You did. Before we do the next one, do you know who I wish they would have ended up putting in the game because they didn't do it back in the day, and I felt like they should have rectified that. Do you know who I wish they could have put in the game? James Bond.
Yeah.
I would have just loved to see it. I would have loved to see how they would have done that. I would have loved to see how they would have done that. So much to do. All the gadgets, all the different Bonds, all the cars.
I mean, nowadays it'd be a licensing Majima.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you would have to pay a lot more for the license now than you would have back for like Melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then from Sephiroth, it was Pyra and Mithra.
Very cool. Again, great addition. I was happy about it, but they are really cool.
I was fucking ecstatic about it, and it might be my favourite character to play as in the entire game.
Yeah. And they are so good players. Yeah. Definitely.
And to see one of my actual all-time favourite characters get in the game was just brilliant.
It's a nice fit. It must be a nice feeling, yeah.
Yeah. Then was Kazuya.
Again, I like it. I actually would have picked a different Tekken character because I think Kazuya is a bit of a dull pick. Like he's a very easy pick, but I think a Tekken character should end up in there because it's such a historic series, you know. And it's
I personally could not care less about Kazuya. I think it was really boring. If you don't like
Tekken, then why would you?
I think it was really boring. I completely forgot that he even came out. I've barely played as him, have no intention of going back to him. But I approve of a Tekken rep. So I can't really complain about it.
Yeah. I think as a Tekken rep, he's very dull. They could have picked like Hwoarang, they could have picked Eddie Gordo, they could have picked even like Jack 2. There's a lot of Tekken characters they could have picked who would have been interesting. Like, yeah, I don't know.
And lastly, Sora, who releases in within like the next 2 hours at this moment in time of the stream.
Nice. No, I like it. I think it's deserved. It's nice for people who like Kingdom Hearts. It makes sense. The only ones I really would have replaced was probably Min Min out of that, which is funny because I remember disliking. I mean, I would have liked it if 3 particular characters could have made it in. I think Dante and Travis deserved to make it in.
I think just throw my Sora thoughts in there at the moment. I don't really care.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, so I don't have an attachment to Sora. I could not give less of a shit. But I think it's fitting that the last character is, first of all, that we get the most requested character of all. I can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
And then 2, and 2, the fact that the final character in the most insane crossover of all time is the protagonist from the other most insane crossover of all time.
Yeah.
It's quite fitting.
Low-key think it should have been Goofy though, but you know, we argued about Kingdom Hearts for a long time. That just would have been the funniest shit.
You said you want... You said characters that you wanted in. You had 3 names. I'm giving you 15 seconds to give them to me.
Sure. Dante. Oh, bro, you put me under pressure now. I've forgotten it. Dante, Travis, and either Kiryu or Majima, which is, biased, but I don't really care.
Yeah, that last one's bias. Dante, I think is fair enough. Travis, I wanted in, but in hindsight, I'm kind of glad he's not in, because they'd have to water him down so much he wouldn't be Travis anymore, and then it'd be pointless.
That's a good point. Although, to be fair, I mean, they did it. I mean, they did a decent job with like Snake and Joker. To be fair, I mean, I guess they didn't have to water them down as.
Yeah, but if you think about some of the stuff that Travis says, there's no way that's going to fly in Smash.
Of course not. No, of course not.
But anyway, this wasn't meant to be a Smash debate stream, and I'm gonna have to call it there because it is late.
No worries.
And we've hit the end of the chapter as well, so...
I've had a great time, but I'm mad tired.
Yeah, this has been a great stream, and we actually did cover everything we wanted to discuss today. So thank you, Majima, for sitting here and talking to me about this game for the last 3.5 hours, even after we played through the whole thing.
No, I know, but it was great fun. And look, just take my word for it, I have the attention gnat with multiple diseases, so if I didn't want to, I just wouldn't have. But I did want to. I had a great time, so I was vindicated in my decision, which is always nice. But anyway, this was lovely.
And thank you.
It's lovely to see you guys as well.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone who watched tonight's stream. Really hope you enjoyed this as well.
Yeah.
I will be back with other games soon. This is not the end of TTYD with Majima and Paper, ironically, even though this was meant to be our end of series thoughts. We will be back with, I'm going to say 2 more streams. I think there's going to be a post-game stream and there'll be a pit stream. And those, I think it's pretty safe to say we can look to see those around December time. Is the plan, I think.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yes.
Brilliant. Okay then. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching tonight's stream. Take care and have a very good night.
Have a lovely night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.